Beyond Saltmarsh is a game played by adults and recorded for an adult audience. Sometimes we use adult language, explore adult topics. Consider yourself warned.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to Superior Adventures Guild. My name's Dave, your humble dungeon master, and we're about to jump into another episode of, I almost said Midwinter Keening, I guess I miss it so much. Another episode of Beyond Saltmarsh, where anything can happen, and it often does. I would like to introduce you to the wonderful, wonderful people that I get to play this game with. My friends, my good buddies. Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Hello.
I'm doing great.
Great to see you all. Now, if you're tuning in and checking out the stream, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Darth, great to see you. Wiley Hobbit, Scott, always a pleasure to have you around, folks. We appreciate you very, very much. We've got a bunch of announcements to get through. I'm going to make the first one here. As you're aware, we are down a good buddy. Michael is on a break as he pursues some other important things in his life. He will be coming back to join us at the end of May or early June, so we look forward to that. But for now, he will be away and doing other great things. So we wish him the best of luck. Michael, if you're catching this live or watching it on the YouTubes or VOD, we love you, brother, and we wish you the best of luck. Let's see. Why don't we do this? Why don't we go around and introduce ourselves, and let's kick it off with Kirk.
Right on. That is me. I am Kirk. I am Byron Hern, the rogue, the mischief maker, the guy who has a mystical monkey friend who I haven't introduced anyone to in 2 sessions, and Andy keeps messaging me about him, thinking he's not real. But he's there. He's there. He's hidden. I'm wanted in a few cities. I did some bad stuff, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, I killed a guy summoning a devil, so I'm not really worried about it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is good.
Yeah, sometimes they come back. It comes back to haunt you, perhaps. Chad, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and your character?
Hello, it's me, Chad. I play Tenoch Knucklebones, the Divination wizard, Ghostwise halfling from the jungles of the Amadio. Coming at you all swole and magic-y.
Wait, what?
I think I broke Ashley.
Yeah. Oh my
Swole
god.
and magic-y.
Swole and magic-y.
I thought you said swollen as if there was like something wrong with Tenoch, a goiter maybe or something. I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, I misheard you. Thank you, sir. Let's move over to Ashley.
Hello, I'm Ashley, and I am playing Feyre Evenstar, and she is a 9th level glamour bard, and we have found out that she has a lot of secrets. So I'm happy to start leaking some of those secrets out whenever possible.
Tantalizing. Thank you so much. Andrew, last but not least.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Andy. I am playing Rhunar Deg, 9th level human dual sword wielding Battlemaster fighter and captain of the Good Buddy. And yeah, ready to get back into Narespan.
Nice.
Narispan.
There you go. Ooh, say it one more time, just like that.
Narispan.
As the locals say.
Wow. That's the kind of content you're into, folks. You came to the right place. All right. We do have a couple of announcements. I want to kick off the first announcement because I am so freaking excited about this.
Oh, yeah.
We have a new logo.
What?
Yep. There it is on the screen. Hey, thanks to Luke, our buddy here from Duluth, who put that together for us. I love it. I'm so thrilled. It's super sexy.
I need a gold. There needs to be a gold version though, too.
We can do as many versions as we want.
Luke, get on that. Let's do a gold one.
We'll just
color
bug Luke.
Actually, I could probably just do a color replacement.
I think graphic designers love it when you just keep coming back to them with little tweaks over and over again, right?
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of shading in this, but can you just change the color?
Can you do one across the spectrum of all of the D&D dragons?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Big shout
No,
out
it's
to
fucking
Luke.
rad.
We love you, buddy, and you are amazing for pulling that off. It's exactly what we wanted. I love it. And it kind of ties in with an announcement that Andy's got.
An announcement?
Yeah.
Oh,
little,
that's
a little
right.
something.
We got merch. We got
Ooh.
t-shirts. We got hoodies. We got mugs. We got all sorts of stuff. Totes. We got masks. We got onesies for your little ones.
Ooh,
So-
Chad is modeling our Good Buddies for Life t-shirt,
Oh,
as you can
yep,
see.
there
Damn.
it is.
Oh,
And
You've been working out, dude?
We do have the new logo on some new shirts. So
Damn
go
right.
check
We
it out.
haven't received any yet, but they're on the way.
Yeah,
Can't
they take
wait.
a little bit to be delivered, but
So
once they
cool.
arrive, you
Yeah.
won't be disappointed.
Oh, so sexy. Hey, I got another announcement. We want to thank our sponsors at CZRPG for sponsoring us. That's what that means. But they have really supported us over the last, pretty much since we started streaming. What is it? We said 14 months ago. So thanks to them. Thanks to everybody in the chat who has in turn supported them. We are super excited because we have the encounters in Saltmarsh that we are going to be giving away at the end of tonight's stream. So if you want to get in on this piece of content by Jack, thank you, Jack, for writing this beautiful 46-page PDF with adventures, maps, stat block, some other things, because I forgot to pull up my list of things to say, but it's pretty awesome. I've used it. Oh, the ship tokens, love them. So ! drawing, and you'll be entered to win, and we'll draw that for that prize at the end of the stream. And I think Chad, I think you have one announcement for us that, I don't know, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. So as you may remember, Midwinter Keening is done. But we're, of course, not done, because we still love to play games together. And so starting tomorrow is join us at the normal time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, for our Kids on Brooms session 0.
Ooh.
We're going to kind of create some narrative context for our magical school children, and then create some characters. I'm excited. There'll be some interesting reveals that will happen tomorrow that I will not spoil more than to tell you that there will be interesting reveals that will happen tomorrow. But yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be hopefully a totally different sort of tone. It will not be Magician-y. It will be way more Harry Potter-y. if you heard, I guess, I don't know how much of the pre-show chat was about magicians that anybody would have heard, but if you heard any of that,
I liked what I was hearing about magicians.
I'm getting out the magician stuff because I don't want that in this game. This is going to be a much more whimsical, kind of wholesome. Like, I probably won't swear as much.
what? Wait, we
I-
can swear, right? Because otherwise you're
I
going
don't
to kick
believe
me
that for
off
a
after
minute.
like
Yeah.
5 minutes.
You're out of here, Ashley.
Then there's the one student with the potty mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know how she makes all of her spells power words into fuck, but there you go. Fucking
I-
magic missile.
I wrote
Anyway.
my backstory last week, and it is magic spitball. That's my backstory.
That's it.
That's it. Can't wait.
Two words.
That's all I need. But anyway, join us tomorrow for session 0, and then we're going to take a week off of Thursday so that I can have stuff prepped, and then the following week, so 2 weeks from tomorrow, will be session 1. And yeah, I'm excited. Join us. Also, players, we're going to use real dice.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Those dice that I sent you
Real
like a
dice.
year ago, Andy.
The math rocks.
You can, oh, that's a rad dice bag.
Yeah,
that you have.
Who gave
Ashley.
this to me, Chad?
I have no idea.
Oh, it's like a potion, right?
yeah,
It
it's a potion.
is.
It's a potion
It's a
jug.
potion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Many moons
Yeah, we'll be-
ago.
Did you crochet
Well,
that, or is that knitted or something?
I bought that. Yeah, I bought that from an Etsy shop. Like I was like fucking 4 or 5 years ago. It was a while.
I've been
ago.
using it.
Yeah, it's
That's
great.
amazing.
But yeah, Andy, we're gonna use real dice because why not? Rolling dice is fun, and I trust you guys, and we'll try some different stuff.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, I digress.
Doing a physical
That was-
character sheet then.
Yep, and the
Ooh.
physical character sheets, which I'll get to you tomorrow, Kirk. I just have to finish.
I have a folder
Cut it.
of dead characters. This is kind of off
Cutting it
topic. All the campaigns I've played through the years, whenever a character dies, I write dead over the character sheet in big letters,
Nice.
and then I put it in a folder.
And then you go back and like reminisce at times and start to get
Sometimes,
teary.
yeah, it's
Light a few
it's
candles,
emotional,
burn a
but
little
it's
incense.
like it's joyful too. It's hard to explain.
Hell yeah. I think a lot of the gamers in at least at this table and then people in our chat understand exactly what you're saying. Yeah. You have those favorite stories and adventures with those characters. And then your DM kills them. So there you go. So
true.
yeah, check in tomorrow for that. It's going to be epic.
Yeah.
Super excited. Thank you, Chad. Looking forward to that. All right. I think that's it. Let's jump into our recap from last week. In our last episode, the Deg Gang, without the captain, had picked up the pieces after a hard-hitting 8-hour bender in Narisbin. Pro tip, stay away from the fire giant gut punch. But nevertheless, important information was gained and relayed to Deg as he joined the party in town that night. Captain Vincent Solana, the man who had been hired by Aubric Dralian to scout the Amadio coast for clues in the lost city of Tomoa-chan, was incarcerated but alive and in Narisbin. A stroke of luck, perhaps. Despite the late hour, you made your way to the old fort and found the gate closed. So as you do in D&D, you split the party with Rhunar, Feyre, and Byron heading to the Black Anemone, the local tavern, and Tenoch returning to the ship, the Good Buddy. Rhunar had a brief run-in with a grumpy grandfather clock, but little consequence happened in the remainder of that night. But the next morning, you all reconvened in the market district, did a little shopping while Byron paid a visit to the Narisbin Boatworks, did a little research over there. Later in the day, you called upon Falch Mins, a fine-dressed businessman in charge of port commerce, in an effort to find a buyer for your cargo of silks, fine tools, and spirits. Not the undead kind, the drinkable stuff. I guess you guys picked up some booze. And actually really impressed that the Good Buddies did not tap into it. That was well done. Mins, as it happens, took a particular interest in one of the party members, Feyre, and asked a lot of questions about your travels and your plans. And when you mentioned your intention to speak with Captain Vincent Solana, Mins related to you the reason for Solana's imprisonment, a series of grisly slayings known around town as the Lantern Ghost Murders, and a slew of missing person reports, all of which looked to be the work of Solana, who Mins asserted had gone mad. Phantom NJ, thanks for the resub, buddy. Great to see you. Mins directed you to a friend of Solana's, Master Refram, and Refram himself described as somewhat troubled, had been making, he was a rabble-rouser, let's say, and causing some trouble with the Iron Guard, spouting conspiracy theories about Solana and the murders. He was to be found in Lowtown in an area known as the Froth to the locals. So there's a bit of I don't know if I would say a bit, but there was some definite flirtation between Mins and Feyre, with the former covering our bard's lodging in a private room back at the Black Anemone. So nicely done. Following up on the Master Refram lead, you made your way into the Froth, which is a slum of crumbling, worm-eaten hovels lining muddy streets in a kind of a dark, dingy part of Narisbin. This kind of thick black mold covering everything and a dark haze hanging low over the the slew. You arrived at the workshop, you heard cries, you responded as heroes do, jumping into action to save Rephram from creatures that had carried him into the mire. You fought a small group of kind of squid-like creatures, one of which at least wielded a tendril that drew Rhunar to him, and all of them inflicting massive bursts of psychic energy. But nevertheless, you made relatively quick work of the rescue. In the aftermath, you escorted Rephram, disheveled and frightened, back to the anemone. You had a brief conversation with the exhausted Rephram. You learned that he doesn't believe Solana is to blame for the murders, although he was so distraught from the attack that his explanations seemed a little nonsensical and confusing. You offered him a room and he retired for the night. The session ended with Byron doing a bit of research in Dralian's journal. And so we'll start there. But before we do, it behooves me to point out something to the players. So my friends, this is a bit of out of character information, and I trust that you will treat it as such moving forward. Secret stuff. You'll notice that in the recap, I made no mention of Theodoric. For all intents and purposes, he does not exist. He never has. Your PCs have no memory of him. Now, you may have items on your person that you may or may not recall obtaining. But there's always some logical explanation that you can tell yourself to fill in the blanks of the things that you don't recall. And I assure you that this is not an arbitrary hand waving to sort of explain why Theodoric and Michael are no longer here, but it is grounded in a narrative that may reveal itself at some point. So.
I like that you said may, because that means it may not, which is
it's quite possible. It's quite possible. And I think we just have a level 1 hype train going on. So thank you to
a hype train.
Wow.
Yep. Thank you very, very much, everybody. That's amazing. So
I got an advantage too from Theo, the guy.
Hey, thanks. Yep. We'll just have to refer to him as Valkyrie bait.
Yes.
So, Kirk, or should I say Byron, you had mentioned that in your nightly duties, you are interested in, thank you, North Shore DM, and another advantage for everybody. You were interested in doing some research on the journal, correct?
Yep.
So why don't you give us a roll? How much time are you spending relative to the mechanics of how this works?
So everyone's going to bed, right?
Yeah. So this would have happened, early in the night as people are going to sleep. Wow. Thanks, guys.
So my intention is to do it pretty much all night. I'm going to do it over the night, skip rest. I'm going to be tired tomorrow, but I'm especially motivated for some reason to get this journal done.
Okay. I like it. So you're going to make an investigation check and you're doing a full night.
Yep. And I'm going to use Dr. Graw's magnifying glass.
Okay. And what does that provide for you?
That doubles my proficiency bonus.
Okay. So you'll be rolling also with advantage because you are spending the entire night taking care of your research.
So it says 23, but I add double my proficiency, which gets me to a number I've never reached in my entire time investigating this journal, which is above 25. It's a 27.
Holy cow!
I've never rolled above 25.
Oh my god!
In 30 or 40 rolls.
This is huge.
That is huge.
Awesome.
All right.
Mechanically, I'm pretty sure that's significant.
Yeah. I'm also going to say this, Byron, you were able to roll with advantage, but because of the amount of research that you've done, the amount of time you've spent on the I guess, decoding of Dralian's strange text, you do not spend the entire night. In fact, you break this particular code within an hour. So it's as if you used a short rest to do your research, but you gained the benefits of the long rest version of that mechanic. So wow, thanks for pushing us over the limit, North Shore DM.
Whoa.
Hype train.
Holy
Wow.
shiza. Very nice.
I like hype trains.
I guess you do. Okay, we're on a hype train. Choo
Subs.
choo. God dang, that's awesome. So you have unlocked, Byron, a journal entry. Let me pull that up. And let me say this real quick. That advantage that you have for tonight's, that is something that will continue on each subsequent roll that you make. You have reached a level of understanding of Dralian's journal.
Whoa.
Nice.
Let's
Nice.
see here.
So he always has
yeah.
advantage on it now?
Yes, he does. He can use a short rest instead of a long rest to gain advantage.
That's a
Let's see.
powerful boon.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Where is that?
Thank you, North Shore DM, for the mini subs to Darth Surrealish.
Oh. Here we go. I was on the wrong. I have too many monitors now. I was on the wrong monitor.
Phantom.
Here we go.
Dang.
God. Seems Pete Ludenberger had lapsed. Not anymore, Pete. You're subbed again.
Oh, welcome back.
I guess I don't know. I don't know how gift subs work. I don't know.
I don't either.
That should be
Yeah.
lapsed, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So this is journal entry 10. And I have it up on the screen here for folks to read. Kirk, why don't you read it out loud? I'm going to update the advantages list while you're reading.
I don't
If I
see.
can. Do you see it?
Number 10.
Yep.
Okay, I found it. Solana sends word of Brotherhood agents at play in the Olmans that they too seek fragments of Rial's map. The captain's contact within the DS has confirmed it. If true, this only strengthens my resolve to pursue the lost city with all resources that I can bring to bear on its discovery. Should those map fragments be reunited, we will locate the lost city and discover its secret power. The Emperor should have arrived in the Olmans by now, yet I have not heard from him. I fear the worst. Solana shares my concern.
Nice.
Brotherhood agents.
The Emperor.
This character doesn't know anything about the Brotherhood.
No, not really. All right, there we go.
Level 4 complete.
What?
Yeah, vamp.
Woot woot.
So a
Hype
couple.
train.
That's awesome. There's a couple of elements in there. Obviously, the Brotherhood piece. I heard Ashley say the Emperor, and one of these guys can kind of fill you in on what the Emperor is, real quick, while I'm finishing this piece
the
up.
Emperor refers to the Emperor of the Waves, which was a boat that Dralian was sending supplies, materials to Solana.
Oh, okay.
And that was the boat that Rhunar recovered the blue box from at the very beginning.
All right.
All right. So
now what are the rest of us doing, or is there more to the journal?
that is the extent of the journal entry that Byron unlocked. The rest of you are now waking up. It has been a night. You've all benefited from a long rest. So mark your character sheets appropriately for that. And the day is yours, my friends. You are in Narisban, you are well rested, and nothing is out of the ordinary. Nothing whatsoever.
So weird.
Yeah, what would you guys like to do?
Feyre wakes up from sleeping on that giant book. The Principles of Navigation. And just goes, oh, this was not comfortable. Ugh. And she just looks around, and it seems like something's different. She can't put her finger on it.
What's going on, guys?
My brain is broken.
Oh, guys, check out this entry I just decoded today. Last night.
Oh, that's your secret journal.
Oh shit! What am I doing? Yeah, it's my secret journal. I'm not showing you this yet, Tenoch?
You have, but it's not like I'm knee deep in it.
Well, I should probably just tell you that there's a bunch of stuff in this that I can't tell you about.
Thanks, Vamp.
Ah,
Anyways,
I thought we were all friends from when we were having that drinking game.
don't ask for your diary and read it out loud, do I?
You can read this Principles of Navigation.
Yeah.
I don't.
Did
keep
you
a
write
diary.
it?
The book?
Don't
No.
keep a diary?
No.
Oh, well.
Do you keep a diary?
Yeah.
Rhunar walks in from the next room.
He has several diaries.
What's going
I've-
on in here?
How
Oh,
was the
well.
big room?
It was pretty nice.
Did anyone
Yeah?
knock on your door
Yeah.
last night?
They didn't wake me up if they did.
Oh, dang.
Quick
I'm
question:
sure I
Where
slept
did
right
where
through
did
it.
you guys put Rephram? Was he in the room with the group, or was he in the? Do you recall which room he was in?
Oh, that's right. I forgot we brought him to the
Probably with the captain.
probably with you guys or with me. I don't care.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sure.
We
So
don't
he's
need
up
4
as
people
well,
in this room.
and he follows up behind Rhunar and says, "Well, I'm going to go down and get some coffee. Would you join me?"
Oh, yeah, totally. Do you want a gut punch?
Nope.
No more of those.
No, I know better than to do that. That's for the tourists.
Oh. Yeah, I've
No.
never had it before.
We all got to be tourists sometimes.
Well said. And he turns around and starts walking down to the tavern.
All right. I
You follow.
pack up my stuff and follow.
As you arrive in the main tavern, you head downstairs. It is quiet. There are a few people cleaning up after the night's revelry, and you see a couple of the servers that you recognize from the last night and day, and they are serving plates of food to folks. And Rephram walks up and gets a coffee and sits down at one of the long tables inside. The cool ocean breeze is blowing through the black anemone. It is a pretty nice day outside. There are some clouds in the sky, possibly storm on the horizon, but directly overhead it seems clear and a very nice morning. But you do get the sense that it's going to be a hot afternoon.
Nice. That's what I.
It's going to be warm
That's
too.
what I like. Yeah. Yeah. Get some coffee. Maybe whatever they got for breakfast.
Absolutely. Sit down and plates are brought over for anybody who wants breakfast, and it is eggs and some bread, some fresh bread, still warm. It'll cost you 3 silver each for breakfast and coffee. Pretty good deal. And yeah, you have a nice breakfast. Rephraim is eating rather quickly.
Now, Rephraim, you were saying that your friend went a little over the bend, you know?
Friend. Yes.
Yeah, weren't you saying that Vincent Solana?
Oh yes,
friend?
yes,
Yeah, he was a
Vincent.
few feathers shy of a toucan.
Sometimes my memory, it's not what it used to be. I'm getting
Now,
old, I think.
tell me about your memory problems. What's going on there?
Well, I just chalked it up to being, a bit old. I mean, I still feel nimble and. But, people
How old
tell
are
me
you?
That's a great question.
Creeps up on you,
At
doesn't it?
least
Age.
I don't know precisely, but older than you, miss.
Well,
Tell me who. Reintroduce yourselves to me now. I forget. That. Thank you for saving me from those creatures.
What were those things?
I don't know. I haven't seen them before, but they did not
Well,
look.
fishy guys with
Yes,
squid tentacles.
You'd never seen them before.
I have not. Why did they come for me? Maybe it's in these notes.
My,
Two things.
my name's Rhunar Deg.
Oh yes.
I'm the captain of the Good Buddy,
Ah,
and these people are my crew.
hello. Hello.
Feyre.
Oh, hi. And to you, hello as well. Is there something wrong with that one?
He's hungover.
Yeah, don't mind her. We how do I put this? We know Solana
Ah, yes, Vincent, of course.
through a friend, and we came here and inquired about him, and we found out he was in jail.
Yes,
And your
incarcerated.
name was brought up.
Oh. How did you? Who told you? Was it the authorities?
Well,
Oh, you're muted, Andy.
let me just check my notes here. It was
Oh, you have
know,
notes.
that guy,
This is
the,
professional outfit.
Falchmins.
Oh,
We were selling cargo, and your name came up. Not with the cargo, but regarding Solana.
the
You
governor's
said
man.
that you had ideas about what happened with Solana.
Did Min say anything else about me? That
No, not really.
it seems coincidental, perhaps, that he should be speaking of me, and then those creatures coming to take me away.
You
Hey,
trying to, are you trying to say that old purple suit guy has
I
squiddy fishman henchmen?
It could be in my notes here. I have a hard time recalling sometimes. That's why I write things down.
Captain, do you think I need to maybe restore his brain?
Ooh,
You know,
yeah,
if I
whoa.
could just
Yeah.
get
No, 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 no,
some,
no, no.
some
No, no, no,
diamond
no.
dust, I could
Yeah.
maybe fix up something.
I mean,
It might
maybe.
help with your memory, honestly.
Just have at it.
It's like fantasy
No.
Prevagen
Well,
or something.
Well, I need to get some diamond dust.
I don't want you inside my head, though.
And I start digging through my bag, and I'm like, oh, I have some.
So,
When
what?
did that happen?
You can't remember?
No, all right, one question at a time. Solana, Vincent. Yes, of course. Vincent and I are friends. He was a good man. Captain of the Griffin Wing, of course. Respected and revered by his crew. I don't know what happened to him. He kind of looks around. And he kind of brings his voice down and leans in. Something happened to his mind. And the murders occurred. And he was arrested. Grisly murders. They were terrible. The Lantern Ghost Killer.
So it's true?
He went crazy and murdered people.
Is anything like your guys' friend from before?
From before?
Yeah, from before I was on the crew.
Hear it?
Yeah, remember you told me about the things that happened in Monmouth
When he went chasing after his brother and
when you first arrived.
yeah.
No, that was different.
Feyre's
Was it different?
going to like lean forward and go, "Oh, you got a little something on your cheek," and she touches him and casts
no.
Greater Restoration.
Oh no!
Okay.
Greater restoration.
Oh,
Yep.
Damn.
Holy shit. All right. Fill me in on exactly what that says again. Give me the words. Here, I'll even go
Okay.
over to the if you can put it in the chat, that'd be cool.
It's touch. It's instantaneous. I put it in the roll 20.
Okay, perfect.
It's you imbue a creature you touch with positive energy to undo a debilitating
Debilitating.
effect.
Yeah, there we
You
go.
can reduce a target's exhaustion level by 1 or end one of the following effects on the target. One effect that a charmed or petrified the target. One curse. Sorry, it moved. Including the target's attunement to a cursed item. Any reduction to one of the target's ability scores, or one effect reducing the target's hit point maximum.
Okay. And what does it look like when you cast this? There is a verbal and a somatic sort of component to this, as well as the material, obviously, the gold dust that gets consumed.
Right. So in the one hand, I'm still holding that pouch of diamond dust, and the other one, I touched his face, and it's like, again, with the sparkles, it almost like when you touch a pool and like oil kind of like ripples across, except for it's like a shimmery dust that just covers him and is gone in an instant.
Oh my, that tickles a bit. Whoa.
How do you feel?
I feel well rested. Huh. I guess I was pretty exhausted. Yes.
Do you,
Thank
things
you.
feeling a little clearer? You remembering
Yes.
what happened before those men or monster creatures tried to take you yesterday?
I was working in my workshop, going over my notes, of course. I've spent quite a bit of time investigating these murders, you see. I am convinced that Solana was not alone. Perhaps he was being influenced. I don't know. He's such a good man. He's a good friend. And I can't just let him languish in the prison. I need to figure this
So you
out.
think he did it?
He admitted to it.
You think he was compelled to do it somehow?
He could not have done it in his right mind. He's too good. He's a good man. I need to figure this out, and then I'm leaving Nurisban. I'm done with this place. The froth is falling apart. People disappearing, the murders. The dark cloud that has grown thick. It is not a good place. Those people are in danger. I believe that there is something... I hate to use the word cursed. Because I do feel like it gets thrown around quite a bit. But... it's cursed! That's my opinion anyways. And I may come off as a bit... I don't know, erratic, but I am concerned for my life. Yesterday, if it hadn't been for you heroes, I don't know what would have happened.
I do. Is there any monetary compensation for saving your life? Just out of curiosity, just call it
Byron.
professional curiosity.
I mean,
Just professional curiosity, Captain.
yeah, I could compensate you. I don't have much by way of money. I haven't been working as much as of late.
You don't need to do that. Just, any kind of help you can give us with Solana would be more than enough.
I know this. He is being held in the Hopen prison. I don't know if you'd be able to gain access, but it could be... maybe you could speak with him. Maybe... I don't know. The fact that he... this is what troubles me. He admitted to the murders, but it seemed as though he showed no remorse whatsoever. I do not know what it all means, but there's something
saw
wrong
him
with
admit
my
to it?
friend.
You were there?
I was not there when he admitted to it. I have only heard what has been told. There were onlookers there, though.
The
It was in
witnesses?
public.
Witnesses.
What did they say exactly? He said.
I mean, I don't have the quote. Long story short, my intense friend, he admitted to the murders and strangely seemed stoic about it. Stoicism is a thing.
Well then.
I think we're gonna need more diamond dust.
I don't know. He seems normal to me.
No,
need
I
to
think
get to see
Rephram's
this.
all right. Like he seems a little bit clear-headed. Yeah. But maybe if we go talk to this Solana, he might benefit from some restoration himself.
Are you gonna give him the little mind tickle?
Yeah, just like a squeaky clean repair, like a band-aid almost. You want to think about it like that? But for your brain.
Well, if you need any testimonials, I'd be happy.
Yeah, you feel good, right?
I do.
You look happy.
Thank you. I feel happy. Although I need to get the fuck off this island before I'm killed.
Well,
But yes.
I mean,
What
Captain,
else do you
we
have
got a
in your notes?
boat.
Is that the first time something's come after you?
I have heard things in the night, but I keep my place on lockdown. There have been other people that have disappeared. I have, unfortunately, made a bit of a nuisance of myself, so I guess I have not been hiding my suspicions, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, I
What other
mean,
sorts of things do you have in your notes?
Well, let's see. Rephram, that's me. That's my name's on the journal. Just so I remember whose it is. Solana could not be the murderer. I've already said that. A whole bunch of other stuff that supports that idea. And the confession. I don't know if it's... I don't know who's behind it. That's the scary thing. There could be anybody. Could be that goddamn grandfather clock for all I know.
Do you
Yeah, don't go
know?
near that thing.
Does he have any enemies here that you know of?
He had said that he was here on business from the north. He did not offer the information regarding the nature of that business, and I did not pry. That a man's business is his. But perhaps it was linked to that. I don't know. I don't think he had. As I said, his crew adored him.
And
Well,
where
right
are
up
they?
until the murdering incident.
That's about the time they left town.
Yeah, friends sometimes do that when the murdering happens.
Do you have an idea of where they would have gone?
I don't. But Vincent, I ascertained from our conversations, and he spent some time on the coast of the Medio. I don't know if that's where his crew would have gone, or if they returned north. Do you know why Vincent was here in Narisbin? That could be important. I could add it to my notes. I could put it in my notes. Here's a spot right here.
No idea.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I
me
don't know why
either.
we're here except to sell some cargo.
You've come to the right place for that.
Oh, and I heard there's a ball that's supposed to be happening.
Oh, I imagine that would be at the old fort.
I think so. That sounds about right.
Sounds splendid.
Yeah.
Did Solana have any problems with the governor?
Before the murdering.
I don't know. I don't know who his business associates were here in town. I didn't pry. He didn't offer that information. Do you know why he was here, Captain?
Well, I think he was, planning on doing some business with an employer of ours. That's how we came to know of him.
Well, I wish I could be of more help. I think it sounds like you perhaps have some ideas on where to go next. I don't know where I'm going.
Well,
But I'm not
we
going
still
back to the froth. That's for sure. I'm not
we
safe
still
there.
have these rooms, don't we, for another night?
Yeah, you could stay here. If you don't feel comfortable here, we could probably put you up on our boat.
Acted.
I'll stay here, I think. That would be just fine. I don't want to impose, but I do appreciate it. This seems good. This seems safe. There's people around.
Yeah, in
People that I can-
retrospect, I don't want fishy people attacking the boat to get at him.
Oh, that would be terrible.
Well, he wouldn't be alone, and there'd be someone to raise alarm.
I'm gonna go over to the bartender and be like, I don't suppose anybody left any messages for me, did they?
Messages? I don't know. Let me take a look, Missy. What's the name?
Feyre Evenstar.
Feyre. No messages that I can recall. Let me talk to a couple of the others. And he walks away for a couple minutes. He's gone, and he kind of walks around and talks to some people, and they come back, and he says, and this is the guy that you recall from the night previous. He's got tattoos on his face. He's kind of lanky, and he's got this kind of green tunic on, and he comes back and says, I'm very sorry, but there's
There's nothing for you, Feyre. But I'll let you know if something comes up for sure.
All right. Well, what do you all want to do today? We selling cargo?
Yeah, we
We-
got to get that cargo unloaded and into that warehouse that I'm paying for.
You guys feel like something's like not right about today.
I kind of did. I mean,
Yeah,
I couldn't put my finger on it though.
Yeah, how can we get a hold of the Griffin Wing? That's
Right.
what's bothering me. That might.
Oh. Yeah, I just feel angrier today than I normally do.
Oh,
Well, my neck hurts from sleeping on that book.
Thanks for the follow, London Carlisle.
I mean, we've never seen the Griffin Wing before, right?
No, but we know that Erin's brother was on it, and we know that they were in Monberg before us. And we know they came
if we
here.
had- if we had a way, maybe we can ask around somewhere. They might be a good resource, or
Think-
you know.
Should we just try and go pay to see Solana in prison?
I mean, we should.
And then you can do your thing with his face and brain, I mean,
Yeah,
No.
all right.
you know, the thing
gotta-
that he did.
With
We
his
got to
face.
stop by a cellar of diamond dust, though.
You don't have any more? Are you sure you don't have any more?
No, I don't even know how I got this one.
That's what I mean. Like, maybe
I don't
you had
remember
more.
buying it.
What happened to the diamond dust you used when you did that?
Oh, well, it evaporated.
Oh, damn.
I know.
Get
That's an expensive. We should stop doing that. We don't need to do this to this
Well,
guy.
not for everybody, but you know,
Are you
I-
sure?
The whole town.
Restoration for you. You get a restoration. You get a restoration.
Look under your seats.
restoration.
Fucking Oprah up in here.
But you know, he just seemed like he might be a little in need of it.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you think it'll help. Yeah, we could get some more. All right.
All right.
I don't have enough money for diamond dust.
I'll help you out.
I could get table dust.
I know that the captain said maybe there's some diamonds on the ship too. And those would be real helpful if, you know, if someone wanted to carry those around with them just in case, you know, you
Yeah, I'll carry them.
right? You know, you kick it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Rhunar, do you want to give me all the diamonds that we have?
Absolutely.
And I'll
not.
carry them for us.
No, that's all right.
Why would we kick diamonds?
Well, I think we're supposed to be able to crush them in some way.
Oh, well,
I know.
yeah, if you have a way of crushing whole diamonds too,
Well,
that would be very
can we-
helpful.
Can we just buy it from that merchant on the dock?
Yes.
I
We totally could.
Weren't we
I don't
down there
remember
just yesterday.
anybody
I was there.
selling
Weren't we
diamond
there?
dust.
I
I remember
Bought some stuff
asking
there.
for some, and
I don't
then
remember what I bought.
I
I
didn't
bought some
go.
stuff there.
All right. I think we should ask around. I don't know if we could be.
Maybe you got that diamond dust. I mean, we drank a lot.
Oh, you
lot
know
more,
what?
right?
That's what it is.
Maybe
That's
you
what
drank-
it is.
Maybe
We've
you
all been
got
there.
The diamond dust there, and then we got wasted.
I mean,
Yeah.
fucking Byron
I
pooped
am-
himself.
pretty
Right.
talented and beguiling, but like usually people don't just hand me $100 worth, or sorry, 100 gold pieces worth of diamond dust while I'm drinking.
You know,
Then you're not drinking enough. If people
I-
are paying you money, you're not drinking enough.
someone gave me a pouch of 87 gold the other day.
They
They
just
gave
handed
it
it
to
to
you.
I don't even remember.
They gave it to you.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from. And I'll reach in my pocket, and I'll pull out that gold I stole. Yeah, I have a bunch of money I didn't even know I had.
Just
Hey,
says
you can pay for the
BMF
diamond dust
stenciled on the pouch.
Whoa. I can't pay for the diamond dust. I don't think the diamond dust is a good idea. I think restoration or whatever this thing is that you're doing is too expensive. We should
Oh.
be very critical of when and where we use it. I have a better idea. Let's just
You
go
don't think
bust
it'd be
them
a good
out and
idea if it helps Captain Solana?
I don't care about Solana.
Really?
I mean, I do.
I mean,
Well,
Yeah,
if
he's
his
like-
like your
brain's
guy,
not all
right? He's like your
scrambled.
guy, right?
No, I've never met Solana.
Yeah, but
I don't think he's part of this club that you think I'm part of either.
What club?
That's what I keep asking, Tenoch. What club? Don't dare say a word. Don't you do it.
Why are you keeping secrets, Byron?
What? Guys,
We were beyond secrets.
you know I'm not supposed to talk about this, right? Like, I'll
Farrah's
get in
Farrah's
trouble.
part of the crew, man.
Like the guy he's gonna be
the
so
dead
mad.
guy? The dead guy?
Kai Raffi, he's a friend of mine.
I don't know who that is.
We're pretty tight, but like I'm
Where
supposed
is
to
he?
like well, he's back in grad school, but like when
Yeah.
they made me a member of this club, I was told like, dude, don't tell people about this. And I was like, oh yeah, I won't tell anyone about it. Then I immediately went and told my friend, and they were like really upset with me, and they were like, we can't trust you, you're not going to be a part. And I was like, oh no, that was just the one guy, he's my one. And they're like, all right, you get one. And then I was like, went and told another friend, and they were really unhappy that time too.
Wait, you told another person after that?
Well,
Are you
I
saying that-
am so bad at secrets.
Were you saying that the first rule of your magic item club is don't talk about magic item club?
Well, see, that's the thing. I got there late, so I missed the first rule. And the second rule too. So I was like,
That-
but I mean,
that
it was a good
tracks.
time.
That tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks actually.
It was like I was at Fight Club, and like I got there a little late too, and like it was a really good time. I think everyone should check it out. Just saying.
You don't think he's a part of whatever that is?
Okay. We're in the middle of a restaurant right now, right?
Yeah, you're in the main room of the Black Anemone.
All right, I'll like reach out and I'll like grab some shoulders and I'll pull them in tight and I'll be like, all right, guys, I'm part of the Seekers of the Arcane. We seek and hunt down magical items to keep them out of the hands of this other group that we don't know a lot about. But like I keep hearing bad whispers about this SB group. They're like super bad. I think that's what it stands for. And here's the thing.
The Brotherhood.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yep. And so like we hunt down all these magic items and we keep them because they're cool, and we use them for cool stuff that isn't bad, like the super bad group.
Now, can we assume that is what Dralian was looking for?
Is 100% what Dralian was looking for, because he is one of my associates. Was one of my associates. That's why I know how to read, and I'll reach into my pouch and I'll pull out his journal. I'll be like, that's why I'm able to look at this thing, because it's kind of like our thing. You know, we all have one of these. I have one of these, and I'll take out mine, and it looks really, really similar to his. It's got the sun starburst on the front of the cover, the sigil of the Seekers. Like we all keep one of these, so this is how.
Hang on. So your super secret club has a very obviously bold lettered monogram on your super secret journal.
They teach you to journal.
Yeah, we're supposed to journal.
That's,
Supposed to write about stuff.
that's like day 2, how to journal.
Yeah. That's when I got there.
Well,
I tell
is
you
yours
what,
hard to
how
read,
about
too?
Yeah, and I'll take it out and I'll set it in front of him. Do you,
I'm
do
gonna
you
spend
read
a
any
long
of this?
rest to read Byron's journal.
If
We need
they
to
try
start
if
a
they try and
second-
read
What is
it,
Byron's journal?
We need,
If they
we
try
need
and
to
read
start
it,
a
it will be
second,
like-
second a second thing in Roll20 for Byron's journal.
Oh no!
I have some entries of Byron's journal
Nice.
written.
Of course you do.
I would do that. If you were to look at the journal, it
Terrified.
has really crude drawings of like pitfall traps.
Is it a stick figure?
I'm not an artist.
It's like those ninja and
Yeah, but
those
you know,
ninja drawings you drew in grade school.
No.
But then you
What?
flip the
What do you-
pages and they
no.
move. You
Yep.
like
Well, I tell you what, Byron. I think it is important for you to be in good stand-in with your group. But as you are an official member, you could probably start your own chapter. Therefore, we could be members of your secret group because you're the chapter leader.
That is a great idea. That is a great idea. I think
Right?
I think I could start my own brotherhood.
You know,
Yeah, probably.
those guys are way back in grad school. They're not going to know what you're up to over here.
Well, if we're all in his
We're in the
chapter
ship.
division,
Wait,
then
s-
he
bring it
isn't
down a
sharing
little
with
bit.
anybody who he shouldn't be shared with. He can tell us everything.
You could
Don't
call
tell
it
anyone.
a start ace.
Guys, everyone's gonna hear.
It's a secret meeting.
Byron, roll
They look around.
2
Yeah, maybe
d20s
we
for
should
me,
walk.
please.
I got a 2 and I got a 1.
Okay. Duly noted.
Anyways, listen.
So why wouldn't
Um,
why couldn't Solana be a part of this?
Well, I think as far as I understand from what I've read in the journal is Solana's just hired help.
I mean, Dralian
Yeah.
seemed to trust him a lot. Like he sent his box to Solana. Is that
I would
something
have
that
to
Dralian
see.
would have done with hired help? Like Rhunar, he had obviously had you go retrieve it, but would he have sent it to you? You know,
Sent the box to me.
right? As hired help. I mean,
Well, I mean, yeah, he hired us to go retrieve it. We had no
Yeah,
idea
just a-
what it was, though.
Quick clarification. Solana did not have the box. It was sent on the Emperor of Waves that was wrecked. But
Right,
Solana
but-
was
yeah.
sent
It was
to go
bound for
But-
Nerisban.
but wasn't
correct.
it sent
It was
to
to him.
It was,
to him.
yeah, that's
Yep.
what I'm saying.
Okay,
yeah,
got it.
That
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah. Sorry about
that
that.
he
Yep.
that Dralian was sending it to Solana.
Who had
That
already made
seems-
his way
That
there.
seems bigger than hired help, right?
Yeah, that does
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we should go talk to Solana.
We should also find a place more private to talk.
Yep. Yeah, this is a terrible spot. I can't believe we talked about all this in the middle of
Rhunar, roll 2d20 for me.
I don't know. I heard about
Shit.
this captain who just tells everybody everything all the time. Captain Holden.
Okay. What'd you get?
A 9 and a 4.
Okay, thank you.
Are we rolling for how many squid dudes attack us in the bar?
No, I've just got a little side thing going to track something of interest that's happening.
He's just messing with us.
Let's get Rephraim set up in the room, and then we got to go take care of this cargo.
Yeah.
I need to get word back to the ship. We got to get the ship on a dock, and we got to unload.
Yep.
Better
We don't
make a
have to
list.
do all that. I mean,
Let's
probably
split
have
up.
Fritz
We could
handle a
we
lot
could
of
do
it.
all this.
Yeah, I
together.
mean, I could head back to the ship and get Fritz to bring it in. You got a
could
buyer
go-
lined up?
well, I mean, we got Mins. He's looking for a buyer, and
Okay.
we have that warehouse for 2 days. I'm already paying for it.
Unloaded.
Might
to
as
the
well get our
warehouse.
stuff in there.
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
especially before something bad happens, we have to get out of town.
Smart.
What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I mean, if something bad would happen, I would want to keep my cargo, I would think. Unless we sell it first. Then it wouldn't be so bad.
Right.
What if we all promise not to do anything bad until we sell the cargo?
I like that idea.
I won't
Right.
make that promise.
You won't make that promise?
You gotta leave options.
Tenoch's not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Well, we better
Tenoch is
hurry
not
then.
here in. Aaron would have made that promise. Tenoch is not going to make that promise.
All right. Well, I want to go speak to Solana because I want to speak to Solana. Let's go to. We could split up. Half of us could go back to the ship, get the cargo started unloading. We could meet at the jail. Feyre, you could get your diamond dust on the way.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Don't go speaking to Solana without all of us, though.
No. I'll wait.
I mean,
I'm not going to tell
and-
you guys what to do, but another option where you wouldn't have to split up would be to send a message to Fritz.
Does anyone have
Just
an
a
ability
thought.
to send a message? Could turn me into a bird again.
I mean, yeah.
Well, we don't need to turn anybody into a bird. I could just send her a 25-letter message. What do you want to say to her?
Fritz is a guy.
Yeah.
Him.
Fritz, yeah.
He does identify as a man, correct?
Yeah. He needs to bring the boat to the dock and unload the cargo and bring it to our warehouse.
Where's our warehouse? He'll need to know that.
I'm looking that up.
It's right on the contract that you have a copy of.
Oh, it's right here on the contract.
Yeah, now just so you remember, Captain, there was a fee for even unloading, which was kind of pricey.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little unavoidable, I think.
All
I got an
right.
idea for that.
What's that?
We just say to put it on Fulch Min's tab. At Feyre's
I mean-
discretion.
You could do that, but
And I bet Fulch will be
most
like,
likely
oh,
gonna
Feyre's
find out.
charging. Yeah, but then he'll be like, oh, it's Feyre. She's trying to reach me.
I am not sure how much hospitality I want to wear out like right away. You know, there is this shindig happening later, and I don't know, maybe we'd want to go together. We want to talk to the governor or whoever. Maybe we decide we don't want to do it, but I don't want to burn that bridge right now.
yeah, I mean, it's unavoidable. Any port, you gotta pay to unload your boat. That's just how it is. I mean, we could try to dodge it at the dock, but he's just gonna circle back and charge us, and then we'll have to deal with it then in a weird, awkward way.
Bit of weird and awkward.
So you're gonna
Just pay it.
send message to Fritz on the good buddy.
I can.
And Rhunar, at the top of or in the contract, it says Warehouse 7.
Oh yeah, just tell him to unload it and bring it to warehouse 7.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Hey, Fritz. It's Feyre. The captain wants you to bring the boat to the dock, unload the cargo, and bring it to warehouse 7. You comply to this message.
Yeah, Miss Feyre, yeah. Tell the captain, yeah. We're on it. Aye, aye.
He says, on it, Captain. That was so easy.
Yeah, Fritz is a good
Yes.
guy.
Let's just skirt through the market district till we find some diamond dust for you, and let's go say hi to Solana in prison.
You guys make
All
your
right.
way out of the Black Anemone. Rephraim stays behind. I'll just be I'll be going over my notes, and he grabs you by the shirt collar, Byron. He says, "If you take any good notes, maybe you'd share them with me. I can add them to my journal. We're kind of journal buddies."
We are kind of journal buddies. You should.
Yeah. Got to
You
stick
should
together.
You want to lend me your journal?
Oh no! I never go anywhere without my journal.
I do an etch of it real quick.
Maybe later.
Okay. Well, we'll talk.
Okay. All right. Good luck. I'll be here if you need me. Studying my notes. Yes, here we go. You guys leave the anemone and make your way into the open air. You can already see that there are people bustling about. It's not insanely early, but the port is busy. Ships are coming and going, and it is an active and exciting place. And you are heading to the sort of the market district. Is that right? This
Yeah,
little
we have to
10
go through it, I
area?
believe.
Yes, and you are ultimately heading to where? To go see Solana in Hopener prison, correct?
Yep.
But we're making a pit stop at feasibly at the dude we purchased stuff from before,
Okay,
and if not that guy, somebody else.
sure.
To find either some diamond dust or a diamond which can be ground into dust.
Okay, and did you buy you bought spell components, didn't you? The previous day,
Yep.
Tenoch did.
I purchased some spell components there.
Okay, so you can head right to that vendor stall. He's there, and he says, "Ah, yes. Little master, I see you've returned. Is there more that I can help you with?"
My companion here is looking for some ground diamonds.
Ah, yes. Ground diamonds. Well, I had some, but it appears as though it's gone. I don't have any more, but you could talk to Leonardo down at just down the block, a few blocks to the northwest, in the direction of the northwest dock. Leonardo's Curiosity Shop. He might have what you're looking for.
All right. Thank you very kindly.
Yes,
Shall
of
we
course.
try that one?
Let's do it.
All right.
All right. Let's go on over there.
Going to Leonardo's.
Now, it is-
Leonardo's.
It is kind of weird that he had diamond dust and then he said it went missing, and then this morning I had diamond dust, but I couldn't remember where I got it.
Is this where we all just slow turn to Byron? Like, Byron?
I didn't do it this time. I'm telling you, I didn't. I
mean, it'd be real helpful if you did.
Do you think they have more? I could get it.
We need to sell the cargo before we have to flee town for any reason. All right, so
We just talked about
That's
this,
right.
guys. All right, so the four of you are going to make your way to Leonardo's Curiosity Shop, which I just revealed on the map for you to see where it is. I think this is a great point to take a quick break. So I want to quickly say to this chat, you guys are amazing. Everybody who contributed to was that a level 4 or 5?
Level 4. I think that's
A
our
level
first
4.
4. That's the highest we've gotten.
That was amazing. Thank you all for whatever it took to do that. I'm blown away. Thank you. And also a reminder that we are giving away a copy of Encounters in Saltmarsh. Let me show you what that looks like here.
Yes,
Encounters in Saltmarsh.
and-
It is.
And to your comments.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
go ahead.
Absolutely. Encounters in Saltmarsh. It is a great 5th edition's Dungeons and Dragons supplement by our. It's published by our sponsor CZRPG Publishing. They're awesome. Christian and his team, including Jack Duncan, who wrote this particular piece of content. They are such great supporters of the TTRPG community, and they have gotten involved in a lot of fundraising activities, and they're just all around good people. So hopefully you'll win this. If not, check out their catalog on the DMs Guild and give them some love too, as you guys have given us a lot of love, and we appreciate you for that. We will be back in just about 10 minutes, and we'll find out what happens next as the Deg Gang makes their way through Narisbin in search of answers into what happened to Captain Vincent Solana. We'll see you guys in just a little bit of music. We'll see you guys in a few minutes. I'm going to go to the music. We're going to leave the mics hot. Ashley. Bye.
Thanks.
We're back. We're back in Narisbin, everybody. Welcome. You are heading to Leonardo's Curiosity Shop. And you walk down the street, cobblestones, although much of the stone pathway is covered in sand. As you can imagine, sand from the beach kind of blowing in towards the inland, coming off the ocean. Much of that dock structure, if we go over to the map screen, just as sort of a note, much of that elevated dock structure around the busiest part of the port is up above sandy beach. So it's all like dunes and sand.
And boardwalk piers that you can like leave bodies under.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's kind of why they did it that way. But yeah, nevertheless, a lot of the stone pathways and roads, if you'd call them, that you see very few carts the farther you get away from the market district. But anyhow, nevertheless, you make your way to Leonardo's Curiosity Shop, and you know that it's the shop because there is a large painted lion's head, like portrait, on a swinging wooden sign in front.
And it says Curiosity Shop.
Is this a place we're looking for?
It says Curiosity Shoppy.
Shop.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is the place that you're looking for.
You know it's legit when it's spelled with two P's and an E.
Well, spelling's not everybody's strongest suit. Your head's right on in.
You walk in, and it's got the classic ding, 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 ding bell on the door, and you walk in, and it's bright, and the windows are open, and the sun is shining in, and it's refracting through prisms and gems, and so there's like sort of these beautiful rainbow light patterns on the walls, and there are some glass baubles that are sort of blowing in the wind, and they're on strings, kind of like a wind chime inside the building. It's cool, and there are all manner of trinkets that you would expect in sort of kind of like an antique kind of place. There are
Kind
strange,
of
like
the hodgepodge of shelves and just stuff crammed
Yes.
into any nook and cranny.
yeah, you see things like mummified animal skulls with the skin stretched over them. You see strange like geodes on display. There are a variety of different like jewelry boxes around, and you see sitting at a desk, sort of a bench area with sort of a monocle, magnifying kind of head down, looking at something, and then in the other hand a quill writing on a piece of parchment. And as the bell rings, the individual looks up, and you see this lion person, a tabaxi, but like full blown like African savanna lion, long mane, big stature. And as you walk in, he greets you. Welcome to my establishment. Welcome. Come in and look around.
Well, how do you do?
Hello, miss. I am Leonardo, the proprietor of this place. Please look around if you'd like.
We are looking for something special. Though we would love to look at everything. I don't suppose you have any diamond dust here?
Diamond dust. Yes, of course I have diamond dust. 1 second. And he reaches down and pulls out a box, and you can see that it has a lock on it, and he reaches into his tunic and pulls out a set of keys that are on a necklace around his neck, and he tries one. That's not it. Takes a different one. Ah, yes, here we go. And he opens it up. I do not have much. How much do you need?
Oh, like 100 gold piece worth?
Oh, yes, of course I can do that. Not a problem. And he gets out a scale, and he sets it down, and he starts weighing it out, pouring a little bit on the scale, and then kind of looking at the scale and pouring a little bit more. And he says, are there other things that you would like, that you need? Tell me anything.
Well, say, what's the specialty of this shop?
Curiosities.
Like, what do you think are the most curious things here?
Well, we have a couple of different books, if you like to read. Things come in off the ocean, and I go and buy them. And sometimes people bring them to me. Well, I have gems. Do you like jewelry? You do?
I mean, who doesn't?
You are a beautiful woman who maybe needs some beautiful jewelry to accompany. What about you, fellas? Don't touch that, he shouts out to you, Byron. It's very expensive. And it's it's a rock that's cracked open, and there are purple crystals inside. It's a big geode that you're looking at.
I will pick it up.
Wouldn't happen to have any
be
potions
careful.
here, would you?
Potions? Yes, we do. Is there anything you're looking for in particular?
You know, the kind that can heal you,
Yes. We have
make you feel better.
a couple different versions of them. Here, let me show you. And he pulls out a rack of almost like test tube vials, but a little bit more ornate in nature, a little bit more variable in their shapes, hand blown glass essentially. And there are some kind of light red ones, and there are some darker red ones. And he says, these are more powerful than these, but they are also more expensive. So, these are
How much are they?
these are 50 gold pieces for the sort of general base level, and then 150 for these more expensive versions. And essentially, it's a healing potion and a greater healing potion. How many do you need?
If we get a couple of them, or, I mean, how many would you like to get, Captain, if you could?
Well, that's a good question.
I mean, if we get a couple of things, could you give us a deal?
I would be willing to consider it. Yes.
How much for these mummies?
That one? 5 gold. And you're looking at like this mummified bat.
What kind of different animals are there like that?
There are a lot of primate bodies. There are some birds, some stuffed bird, like macaw style birds, just beautiful feathers. And he doesn't have a ton of animals, but those would be a couple of examples of what he would have.
I'll buy them.
All of them? Very good. I will give you a deal. Let's say 10 gold
Total?
for the 3.
All right. Yeah.
I would like to
What do
get them out of here, to be honest with you. That one creeps me out.
Tenoch, what are you going to do with those?
Burn them.
Yeah, all right.
Big magic.
Sounds good. I don't know. How many potions do you think we need? We used to need a lot more before Feyre came around.
Yeah, I am pretty good about healing people up.
Always good to have in a pinch, though, yes?
It's
many-
true. What if I passed out?
Mm-hmm. How many of each one did you say, Dave?
He has 4 of each. Could get more of them, too. We have suppliers that come in on the week.
I'll take 2 lesser and 1 greater for now.
Very good. I would charge 250, but I will, let's say 220. Huh?
How much
That-
were the lesser again?
Would be great.
50.
50. I'd buy a lesser.
Perfect.
Got another lesser.
Let's see. Other potions we have. We have this one is potion of water breathing. Could come in handy if you are treasure seekers, exploring some of the shipwrecks. Possibly. We have healer's kit. If you're looking for ways to heal, we have healer's kits. And then that's about it for potions. We have some books, as I mentioned. This one here that I was just looking at. It's herbal. It has some diagrams and some natural history information about herbs. Might be helpful.
Do you have any maps of the area?
From where?
Maps of where? Or herbs?
Where is this herb book about?
The Amedio.
Yeah. Do you have any maps of the Amedio or the Omen Islands?
I do not have maps. The maps come and go quickly. And we do not have a cartographer in town either, which that would be an opportunity if you're looking to settle into Narisbin. Open a cartography shop.
You could probably make some good money doing that.
Do you happen to know anyone who purchases oddities?
I mean, you were looking at him.
Oh, really? You'll buy random things from me if they're odd enough.
Sir, that is literally what we do here. What do you
Right.
have something to show me? I'm
Yeah.
very curious now.
Okay, I'll reach into my bag of holding and I'll fish around for a second. I'll pull out a 2-foot tall painting of a beautiful lady.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
that's a big piece.
It's a big piece. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's very odd.
Where does it come
Painter
from?
really captured her beard.
I took it from a ruin.
Oh, so you are treasure seekers. Very cool.
Indeed, yes, many treasures. I have this sparrow forged of platinum with emerald eyes, and I'll pull that out.
Yes, very
It's
interesting.
not very big, but it's made of platinum.
Tell me, the painting. Is there a signature there? What's the signature?
I think it says something. Yeah, I can't read. I think it says something about Fiona.
Hmm.
Fiona.
I-
What's that letter?
How much do you want for the painting?
Well,
And
I think we both know it's an.
He starts to
original
look at
work.
the. He starts to look at the other piece, which was what again? It was a gem encrusted.
An
something.
emerald
Platinum
encrusted
sparrow.
platinum sparrow.
Oh, this looks very nice.
Right? Yeah, I took that out of a bone creature.
Oh, you are adventurous.
yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, let me see. And he gets out his little examining eyepiece, and he's holding the sparrow and looking at it. Very nice. This is good. Where did you come from again?
Oh, jeez. Let me see. I've been to grad school. I was in Saltmarsh for a while, but I got kicked out of Saltmarsh. So then I went to Monmouth, but I got kicked out of Monmouth. Then we went to Cybert Island. I'm pretty sure I got kicked out of Cybert. Then we went down a ways. We got kicked out of an island chain by
Exaggerating.
some boats, and now we're here.
Well, based on what you've told me, it's only a matter of time before you're kicked out of Narisbin. So I
No,
should perhaps
this is my
buy
home
this.
forever now.
Well,
But I mean, it could disappear on you. You're never going to see a piece like this again.
I believe you. How much do you want for both of them?
Both of them. The painting, I'll take 70 gold. And the platinum sparrow with emerald eyes, I know it's worth a lot, so I'm willing to take just 2 platinum.
What?
Wait, a platinum's 100 gold, right?
That's a great question. I think it's 10.
Yeah, I think it's 10.
It's
gold.
10. It's all 10s. Yep.
I'll take just 20 platinum.
I will give you. May I counter offer that?
You can't
Amenable?
offend me.
I will give you. I will give you 200 gold for both, and I will throw in one more of this healing potions, the 50 gold piece healing potion.
That's more money than I've ever had at once. I'll take it.
Very good.
It's a good deal.
Yes, I think I can sell this very quickly. Thank you. Now, anything else from you, Miss? Did you see something you like?
No, just the diamond dust.
And you, sir? Where you?
I'm gonna.
I don't mind me asking. And he's looking at you, Tenoch. Where are you from?
Somewhere in the Amadio.
Ah, so perhaps this book would be handy for you. Do you like the books?
I don't read.
Okay, so not the books.
Yeah.
Just the shriveled animal parts.
I could read you the books out loud if you wanted. I mean, what language are they in?
They're written in a common script.
Oh,
They look to be like sort of in the style of a journal and very well illustrated. So like biological illustration, very detailed. Looks like it would be very helpful for identifying plants of the Amadio.
Like as if a fighting botanist wrote it. From Master and Commander, right? Fighting botanist.
Mm-hmm. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
It's a callback.
Yeah. How much for the book?
It's very rare.
I mean, bear in mind that some of this information I might actually know, so I feel like perhaps a discount.
Well, Tenoch, do you recognize any of the pictures?
Yep.
You do. You all, for those of you who can read, it's kind of got a cheeky title. It's called
What's the title?
"Have You Heard of This Herb?"
I want to own it in real life.
It's catchy.
Sounds like it was written by somebody's dad.
Probably.
Have you
Well, it will be here. I've had this book for quite a long time, so I don't think there's any rush. If you decide you want it, come back.
That
And maybe
sounds
I'll
good.
have other things here next time you arrive.
By the way, Captain, I don't have any money. She just looks
Yeah.
over.
Oh my god.
All right, what do we got here? We got diamond dust. I'm getting 3 potions. Byron just got paid. Tenoch, you want me to get that potion?
Did you want the water breathing potion too?
I've already got one.
I don't need one myself.
These go pretty quick. That's why I'm asking. A lot of people swimming around out there.
I can turn into a whale, so I'm
Ooh.
good.
It would be useful, but I don't need one personally.
Very good.
Byron,
Yeah, what's up?
do you want a water breathing potion?
How
Eh.
much is that?
I'll just have her turn me into a whale.
The water breathing potion?
Yeah.
You are good
Turn me into a
customers.
bird,
I
then.
would sell it to you for 120 gold. Usually 160.
Wow, that is expensive.
Yeah, I think we'll hold off for now. We're just going to stick with the health potions.
Very good. Well, there you are. And he kind of boxes up, potions and kind of gives them to you in a little case.
So that's, Dave, that's 3 lesser and 1 greater. How much would that be?
That he, yep, whatever I said.
So 150 for the lessers because that's
Yep.
50 each.
You-
Oh,
and
250.
Whatever the,
You said I could get the 3 for 220 earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering, with that extra one. is
So
it
I
just
thought you meant
270?
all of them. So all of them together would have been 300, right? So let's just say it was 250.
250? Okay.
Yeah.
For the 4. Okay.
Yep. So that sounds about right. He likes you. He likes this group. You're spending a lot of money and bringing him some interesting stuff.
And the diamond dust.
100 gold worth of diamond dust.
I'll
Might as well
take
get
that.
two-
You
might
gotta
as well get
submit a
200.
purchase
Puts it in her bag.
order. Ashley, you have to submit a purchase order and get a
Yeah,
triplicate,
a requisition.
triplicate.
Yep.
Yep.
Requisition order. Get a PO. Take it down to the vendor.
I have
I-
wonderful handwriting.
I hate to
Submit
interrupt.
in triplicate.
Yes, sir.
So the last time you did that thing and you dissolved what we're buying here, did you use up all of it? So we're buying enough to do it one more time?
That's right.
We should probably
Unless-
get another one just in case the first one doesn't work.
Right. And then Spayra just turns and looks at Deg.
If the first one doesn't work, we're moving on.
Well, I mean, there's other people in the world who could need to be brain.
That's not our
Dang.
concern. It's a hard, tough world out there.
Yep.
We can't help them all.
I know. And we
As
we
much as
keep
it pains me
trying.
to say. Well,
In my village, sometimes when a person would lose their mind, we would jug their memory
How?
with a jug.
do you have any
I
jobs?
think he means they eat them.
No, I think he means clunk.
No, I think he means they put it
Oh,
in a
you just-
jug.
Jug. We hit them with a jug until their memory comes back.
Yeah.
Is it the kind of thing where you hit them once? It
It's
goes
like
away,
50-50.
But then
I
if you hit them
guess.
again, it comes back. So
Yeah.
you can just kind of keep doing it over and over again.
Hey,
Well then.
The
before you
jungle's a
go,
weird place.
before you go, I hate to interrupt this riveting discussion of jugs, but I've been hearing rumors of. Well, you saw the comet the other night, yes? Well, people are talking about it being I don't believe in this stuff myself, but a harbinger of doom, an omen perhaps. But I did coincidentally hear of plague ships out a sail, and well,
Hmm.
No.
it makes you think. Have you run into anything like that?
Were they coming here?
I don't know.
That's so terrible.
Yes.
Why would they
people-
come here?
I don't know the answer to that. I just heard rumors. I hear them from time to time, as you can guess. People come here to sell me things, and well, we talk about, I don't know, things that they've encountered along the way, where they've come from. So, I'm just asking. People are concerned that that comet was a bad thing. I don't know.
Well,
Well,
it's
yeah.
just a rumor. I'm sure it's, you know, I wouldn't think too much on it.
I'm sure that these fellows that you have defending the port, they would chase a plague ship away right quick. Nothing to
Yes.
worry about here.
They are
The
quite
real
good.
worry is Mosengi ships.
What's that?
Oh, don't.
It is.
Don't. Okay.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
No, it's
No, I mean
You
you
can
could
tell me.
him.
I-
mean,
Okay,
I
it's
don't want to worry.
it's a
you, you
creature
know.
that will destroy the world.
Okay. Seems a little far fetched.
No, man. I pulled one out of a neck. It was like
Excuse me.
8 feet long. It was super nasty, man. And like there's this
Is he for real?
it was so gross. It was so gross.
Uh-oh. Oh, not in the shop. Get out of the shop if you're gonna do that. No vomiting.
All right, sorry, I'm out.
This-
Um,
Look at the sign. It says no vomiting.
No spewing in the shop.
Oh, I didn't
Oh,
even notice that.
Specific.
Yeah, it's happened before.
If you're gonna spew outside.
You peculiar fella.
I'll just finish counting out my money and hand it over.
Is it
Bit
in
flush,
pennies?
huh?
Yeah.
You are
Fine.
All
merchants?
2,
You're
Oops, all
merchants, huh?
copper.
3.
Do you have cargo to tell? I mean, I could maybe help you with that, too. I know people.
We do actually have cargo.
Like-
we got you like silks, tools.
I mean,
We got fine liqueurs.
I do like
Casks and
liqueurs.
casks of amaretto.
Hey, let me ask you a question. What do you think about this guy Mins?
Mm.
You know, is he
Yeah.
going to give me a square deal on this cargo? He wants to buy some of it, I think.
He is a good dealer, and he can make things happen. But you know, I don't care for him. That doesn't mean he's going to screw you. But maybe I could help you. Leonardo can help you.
All right. Well,
Do you have a
I'll-
list of the things that you have?
yeah, I'll show him the cargo
Okay.
list paperwork.
Ooh, yeah. Lots of silks. Let me ask around. I do, of course, take a... because you're good customers, I would drop my fee to 12% commission.
How did that compare to the other guys? Did we get Fulch's cut?
Mm-hmm.
Did we discuss that?
Yep.
I didn't write any of that part down.
Well,
that did make it in my
Rhunar would
notes.
remember that Fulch quoted 10%.
Okay. Well, I don't know. 12%. That's. Fulch said he could give me 10.
Well, it's possible, but I usually
think that's
charge about
realistic?
15, but that's fine. You stick with Fulch. Maybe he finds you a good buyer real quick. If not, you come back to me, and I can help you.
All right, we'll do that.
It's a lot of liquor.
It's good stuff too.
Well, if we do business, then perhaps we can toast to our riches with a bit of it.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Well, we have our diamond dust.
Yeah, let's get
Should
out of
we
here.
go find your friend,
Yep.
Solano?
Yep.
Excuse me?
What?
Excused.
What now?
Vinny Salami.
Salami.
Yeah,
He's-
salami.
He really likes the
I thought you
salami.
said Solana, with his very
Oh,
well-known
yeah.
name around here.
Yeah, I thought I
Yeah.
heard something about that. What have you heard about him?
Oh, who's Solano? Yeah.
What's this
Uh,
Solana guy people are talking about? What's up with that?
A little bit of a problem that we had with, I don't know, half dozen or more murders. This man
Oh, wow.
went berserk
So interesting.
and killed a bunch of people, and now he's locked
No.
up. And
Oh, they caught him. All right.
yes, they did catch him, but the murders have not stopped. Very curious.
Well, doesn't that mean it
Interesting.
wasn't him if the
I
murders
don't know.
keep
I'm not-
happening?
I'm not a legal expert, but there was a very similar murder just, well, the morning after the comet.
Oh.
It's not related, but it could be.
Hmm.
Solana, he's being held in that prison, the Opener prison, over at the Iron Watch Conclave. So
Okay.
yeah, but
So they
you
got
know,
him locked up. That's good. All right.
yeah,
Okay. Well, thanks for your time today. This was great.
you bet. You guys
Go on.
exit the shop, head back outside.
Well, that was
All right.
Murders are still
Thought that guy would be a
Yeah.
turtle.
murders are still happening. They pinned
That's
it on
right.
him. I knew they pinned it on him.
Or he wasn't acting alone. I almost went into an Arcana voice there. I don't know why. All right.
That's all right. It blends together.
Right.
So what's the plan now?
We gotta go see Salami.
You think we'll be able to get
Right.
in?
Code name Salami.
When was that party?
I
Party.
The governor's
don't
thing?
know.
Was that tonight?
Oh, I wasn't in there with you.
I don't remember exactly. I don't know if he actually said it or not, but he said he would send word to the inn.
Oh,
Um,
I forgot to tell you. There was a nice gown in the
Oh.
room.
what it look?
I think Mins sent it over for you.
You tried on?
No, it is too small.
Uh,
Otherwise, I totally would have.
you did try it on because that's how you know it's so small.
I held it up. I
It looked great on
no,
you.
I had to get a good look at it in the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally understand.
Pretty
I would have done it
nice.
too.
It's pretty classy looking.
For
Oh,
real, let's go check out Salami, guys.
I don't know if I trust that guy though.
did it look expensive?
Yeah,
Really?
All right.
Okay.
I'm not like a gown expert. I've been on a boat for a long time, and before that, it was in some pretty fucked up places, so I don't have a lot of experience with gowns.
All right, nobody's blaming you.
All right. Just don't take my word for it. I mean, it looked really nice to me. I don't know.
All right, well, I'll have to go pick that up later, I guess. How do we get to that prison?
It's in that the big fort, right?
I'm not sure. Well, I guess we haven't. I'll look around. Is there anyone around us?
One piece of information that Leonardo gave you is that it's located at the Iron Watch Conclave compound, and there are people bustling about that you could ask for sure.
Yeah. Let's just stop someone and be like, "Hey,
Yes,
prison, opener."
Up the
Iron
hill.
Watch.
Yeah, up the hill, Iron Watch Conclave, right up there. You can see it from here. See that?
Oh, righteous. You're wonderful.
Right next to the fort, that other building.
Oh, cool. Thanks so much, man. Person.
Oh, it's out.
Friend.
It's outside the fort.
You got it. Yeah, this individual is pointing up the hill, actually in this direction, right here.
So it's
Oh.
it's over here.
Yep,
I was wondering about that. It's fenced in.
that is the Iron Watch Conclave compound.
All right,
Oh.
let's go see if we can get in, I guess.
Oh yeah, I got this. Hey, Feyre.
Yeah,
Can you make us all into birds?
I
thought
could
we were
make
gonna just
two
go
of us
with it.
into
Loves it.
birds, and then I would have used up almost all my high-level spells.
I was gonna suggest
Oh.
maybe Pharaoh do the talking, but
Oh yeah, that's an even better idea.
I think it's a little early for the bird idea. I think that's a good
Would
idea.
get us in though. Am I
That's a
wrong?
good plan, B or C.
Given different circumstances, the bird thing is totally viable.
Runar's really getting the hang of managing people with the way he
Yeah.
gives feedback.
Yeah.
Try
not-
He's been reading like
Try
management.
not to cut Byron down so much.
Yeah.
Just
Sorry, I
constructive.
like that.
Growing. You've grown
trying to
so
be
much.
There's a
constructive.
lot of supervisors out there that could learn a lot from watching this
Yeah.
stream. I'm just saying. The orientation
But-
materials for the next.
Management 101.
Rhunar
Exactly.
Deg School of Management.
Ooh, could be like a
Oh, man.
retirement plan. All right, you guys are marching your way up to the Iron Watch Conclave, and you get up to a main gate. There are two gatehouses on either side of a closed gate, and as you approach, one guard from each house walks out, and you can see that they are they both have similar garb, a gray cloak that is fastened with a silver brooch that has kind of, I guess you could describe it as like Celtic knot symbols around the perimeter of the brooch, and then an impression of two crossed swords. Other than that, they're wearing sort of like everyday clothes underneath of like adventurers. It's not like a full guard uniform, but they have that cloak on, and that sort of that identifies them right away as Iron Watch Conclave. What's your business here, folks?
Vera,
Oh, Ma, what a lovely pen you have. That is
Thank
just beautiful.
Kind of looks to the other guard and sort of.
Say, I was wondering now, we were just in port for a short period of time, but everyone is just buzzing about this feller who I can't remember the name of the killer. The light something.
Lantern
the
Ghost.
Vincent Solana.
Lantern killer.
Lantern Ghost Killer, yeah.
Yeah, the Lantern Ghost killer. And I
Oh yeah, we got him locked up.
he's here.
Town's safe again.
you sure you got him? You sure you got the right guy?
Well, he confessed. So yeah, we're sure.
I
Oh,
d-
it did.
I d-
Oh, okay.
I don't suppose that we could take a little peek at him. I mean, he sounds like he was
I'm sorry.
quite the person to try to catch. What
Well-
kind of feat was that?
Roll a persuasion check for me.
And how? 19.
Well, I mean, this is not really part of the tourist, the tour route. What business do you have? You just looky-loos?
Well, we just wanted to take a look. I mean, it just sounds so riveting.
Pay extra to punch him too.
Oh, no.
Well, that's optional. That's optional. But
I won't punch
just
him if
to
I can.
sneak a peek.
Let me check with my supervisor. And he walks back into the guardhouse, and this larger individual, a man, he's probably about 3 inches taller, and he's got a pretty big facial hair just sticking straight out, pretty long beard, and he comes out and says, tourists aren't really allowed here, but Carlos says you want to take a look at one of our prisoners. We don't do that here unless you have business, and it's not really something we do for tourists. This is a military outpost. And you're asking to see an individual in lockdown. Do you know this individual? Or, I mean, if you had some sort of business, perhaps we could run it up the chain of command.
Well, I mean, who hasn't heard of him? A notorious murderer like that? It's just so impressive that you caught him. And
Well, it is.
we're only going to be in town for just a few more days. What do you say?
Kind of looks at the others. Roll another persuasion check for me.
Oh my goodness. I would like to use my inspiration and see how high I can get this.
Yeah, you do
Okay.
have a couple of advantages.
Yeah, do you have any
Somebody-
advantages?
somebody
Yeah, you
gave
have
you in the
4
chat.
advantages as well.
Oh,
So that's a 27.
So that's
Damn.
your roll plus your inspiration. Wow.
with advantage, I think.
with
right?
advantage.
Oh, you
is
used your
So
what I
it's
was
just the
advantage.
first
thinking.
two, just the first two rolls.
The 27 and the 18. A 27, he says, well, I suppose we could make we could make an exception, I guess, miss. It is quite the feat that we were able to capture this particular individual.
Oh my goodness. Yes, it's so impressive. I love a man in uniform. You all look so dapper.
Oh, it's nice of you to say. Gentlemen, please watch the gate. I will escort this young lady and her friends. As he swings open the gate, he just says, "No, I can't have you wandering about or touching anything. This is going to be kind of on the down low. We're going to go take a peek. You get to see the murderer, the lantern ghost killer." And he kind of gives you kind of a wink, a eyebrow raise. You have nothing to be scared of. He is in complete lockdown, and we'll get a look. Okay.
You have him manacled.
You're about to find out. Come on, let's go see. And he's
Isn't
kind of
that fun?
he's kind of into it now. You know, he's been seriously persuaded. So you walk through the gate, and you see as he leads you through this pretty well defended gatehouse along a stone path that goes across an open field towards what is kind of like this really commanding stone building. To the south, you see this large training complex with a variety. That's kind of like in this area here. As you enter through the gate right here, there's a training complex, and you see men busy in training. They are running drills of archery, swordplay, other training related activities. And then you enter the building through this iron door, and you are led to a window immediately adjacent to this iron door. And there are 3 guards in this sort of entry vestibule, standing at attention with spears. And there is this kind of like window that are iron bars, and behind that window in a different room is a man, similar garb with the gray cloak, sitting there, and he looks up at you as you're brought in, and he says, "Visitors, sign in here." And he sends a piece of parchment kind of underneath the bars for you each to sign.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna watch Feyre. Does she sign her real name?
She does not.
Great.
She signs Penelope Scuttlebottom.
Nice.
Your superhero
Miss
name.
Scuttlebottom. I sign an X.
I sign Larry Longshanks.
I don't sign. I spend the time to read the whole thing before signing.
Okay, there are not very many
9
names.
years later.
Yeah, there's not many visitors that come here. So there's probably half a dozen names in addition to yours.
I'm gonna see Tenoch's X though, and I'm gonna just put an X too.
Very long.
He kind of, the guy behind the bars kind of gives you a look. Whatever. And he takes the sheet back, the sign-in sheet. The guard, the one that's taken a fancy, he starts to talk to you a little bit about the history of the building and when it was constructed, and the architect was killed in a tragic accident when he fell off the roof and was impaled on one of the iron fencings around the perimeter of the building, and just how prestigious it is, and sort of a little bit of the history of the Iron Watch Conclave.
Is it haunted?
Well, I don't think it's haunted. Perhaps sometimes haunted by those that we keep in lockdown, certainly. But no ghosts or anything like that. That would be that would cause quite a stir. I'll tell you that. No, but he goes on and he tells you more about this place, and eventually you make your way to a room where he has you sit down. I'm going to get Master Bray. Master Bray will take you down. I must return to my duties. But my dear, it was a pleasure to meet you. Are you staying in town? Perhaps, I don't know. I feel silly, but perhaps we could, I don't know, get a drink at the Anemone sometime.
That would be lovely, but I think we're leaving tonight. At least, that's our scheduled plan.
Well, of course, I understand. Yes, busy.
But if
busy.
anything changes,
no, that's yep. You can see he's feeling very awkward that he asked you, and he said, "I'll sit here. I'll be back. I'm gonna go get Master Bray," and he leaves you in sort of like a waiting room, if you will.
Couldn't you just said yes?
No, then we have to deal with that guy later.
Well, I mean, I would have gone to dinner with him. Is he
Would you have worn the dress?
If I have to. Free food?
I don't think that dress would fit you, Byron.
I could squeeze into it.
we can get you something real nice tailored.
Just turn me into a bird.
You look like a layer cake.
Who's this Master Bray guy?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I hope he is receptive.
Maybe
Here's what I'm thinking.
Keys.
What do we say to Solana when we talk to him?
Well, I don't
We need to feel
know.
him out a little bit. If he's
Yeah.
if he's like stark raving mad and we can't get if he's like how they say he is, it might be hard to talk to him.
Yeah. Do the brain thing.
I think we only want to do that if we're alone, though.
I don't know. I mean, you could just ask him what's in the box.
Can you? How far away is Solana from
Oh.
us?
Tenoch, you've
How far is
We're-
what?
this bastard.
Can we
We're in a
tell how
waiting
far away
area.
he is?
Waiting
Oh.
for the other guard who guards this section to come and get us.
But we
Yeah,
can't
you're
see where
not. No,
Solana
you're
is.
nowhere
Okay.
near. You're in the sort of like this is more of a nice sitting room, like a lobby. Think of it as like a lobby.
It's like the office before you go see Hannibal Lecter.
Correct. Yeah. Exactly. Now you know what. Now you got the vibe. But in just a couple minutes, the guard returns and bows to you, Feyre and gentlemen, and he leaves. And you see this short man. He is not wearing a cloak. He's dressed in like just street clothes, I guess, would be a good way to put it. And he just kind of looks at you intently, kind of scanning all of you, each in turn, with sort of beady eyes. He says, yes, so you have come here to view our prisoner.
Oh, yes.
Curious. Well, I've been told that you are friends of the guard, and he has vouched for you, so... Luckily, my supervisor's not here.
Oh. So you're kind of in charge, aren't
he-
you?
We have to go through, like, 900
yes.
level.
I could tell.
Otherwise, there is a lot of paperwork to be done. But for
Oh my goodness. We
for
don't
you-
need to do that. I don't want to trouble anybody. So,
no, miss,
I
no
mean-
trouble at all. And he kind of just stares at you with these beady eyes, just a little bit too long, without saying anything.
I just give him my big fake pageant smile.
Roll a charisma
too.
check for me, just a straight charisma.
Oh man. Getting by on everything just on my charisma. 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I know.
He kind of blinks as if coming out of a bit of a daze, and he says, "Yes, well, Emile probably wouldn't allow this, but follow me."
Oh, this is such fun.
He puts his hands behind his back, and he's sort of like walking and guides you through an archway into a wing of the building that seems to be tucked away. You go through two sets of iron doors that are guarded in turn, and make your way farther into this structure. Now, there's no like basement or anything, but there is a holding cell area. As you can imagine, like all these buildings are built like on top of sand, and they're pretty close to the water line. But anyhow, yeah. So he guides you, and he says, "So you're tourists, or you have an interest in murderers? That's very macabre."
Well, you
We're
know,
on a- we're
every
on a
port
tour.
city has their special little je ne sais quoi, right? So, you know, this one we were hearing about a murderer, so that's what we're gonna go see.
Oh, what do you know of this particular individual? Have you done your research?
Oh, not as much as we would like to. Do you have the gory details?
Well, the man tore half a dozen or more people apart, limb from limb.
How does a man do that?
He is an animal. There is something within him that is tainted. Perhaps something he has lived with his whole life. Perhaps something that has been, I don't know, something learned, or a perversion that has been something he has picked up in his journeys. There are many unfortunate souls traveling the seas.
Did you have a doctor look at him or anything? If he's possessed by something?
Well, I myself am a medical practitioner, and we have been
attempting to communicate with the man, but he has proven to be obstinate. As I said, the rational part of his brain has been all but lost.
Oh, so
Oh,
so you saying that nobody can really get anything out of him?
What we know of this man is what we've been told by people who know him. He is a captain, or was a captain, of a ship that had been in port for some time. How and what triggered him to go crazy? We have not learned that piece yet, but he did confess to the murders, so we know that we have the right man. Yes, peculiar state of affairs that he was able to get away with the slayings the way he was. But such is the
Now-
nature of a beast, a predator, if you will.
Are you sure that he was working alone? Because I heard down at the docks that there was another one of these murders right after that comet went through.
The comet, yes. You are very well knowledgeable about the happenings. I'm impressed. Many say the comet is some sort of, I don't know, sign. The celestial heavens have given us such signs before, so it's not far-fetched. But some people take it too far. My curiosities are more aligned with what drives people to these beliefs, be it legends from their past, tales that have been told generations to generations. But yes, it's peculiar. Murders. Miss, how do I say this? To not offend your sensibilities. This town and towns like it, well, we try to maintain a sense of law, but there are a number of murders that occur from time to time. Most of those individuals are drunken merchants or pirates. They are summarily tried and convicted on the way to the gallows, if you know what I mean. We don't take to that kindly. This one's different, and we are curious. Very curious. Here we are. And you walk up to you're in a hallway, a narrow hallway, and there are a couple of iron doors that line the hallway, and he walks up to one, and he kind of puts his hand on the door and kind of turns to you. And he says, "Now, you'll be able to view the man, but I do not recommend that you attempt to communicate with him. I am concerned that it will agitate him.
Oh.
He has, how shall I say, he cannot be trusted to protect himself, if you understand my meaning. Nevertheless, are you ready?
No.
We can turn around now if you'd prefer to leave.
Oh,
Oh.
let's go.
Onward and upward.
Well, we're right here, actually. Here we
Okay.
go.
let's do it.
He slowly slides back the viewing door on the main iron gate, and you can look inside. And there are bars, perhaps from a courtyard or from some. There's shafts of light that come down into the space, but it is shadowy and dark. Everybody roll a perception check. Anybody who wants to look through the door can roll a perception check.
Right. With my wonderful vision powers.
I actually got a 6.
21.
14.
Perception. Here, I found it. Yeah, 7.
So Tenoch and Byron, as you look in, you don't see anything. You don't see a person.
Darkness.
Rhunar and Feyre, you do see an individual sort of not cowering, but sort of sitting on the floor up against a wall in one of the shadows just outside a shaft of light. just sort of holding his head is bowed down. He's got his legs, his knees pulled up tight against his chest. He's kind of hugging his knees. But that's all that you see. Let's see. One other thing, though. Rhunar, you rolled over a 20. You got a 21.
Yeah.
You do notice that it appears as though in one of the areas that the light is hitting the wall, you can see that there are like scrapings in the wall. It's hard to make out from where you are because you're at a door kind of looking through a little viewing, like sliding panel into a cell. But you do notice that there are some scratchings that almost look like text or drawings, maybe.
And what is the guard doing? What was his name again?
Master Bray. He's just standing there with kind of a weird, creepy grin on his face and just kind of watching you.
Where are his hands?
Bray's? Or Solana's?
Oh, I can't see Solana's because.
Oh, right, yeah. They are behind his back.
Okay,
Clasped behind his back.
My goodness, how long has he been in there?
We have been working with him for 3 weeks or more.
3 weeks.
It has been some time, and well, we have not made the breakthroughs that we had hoped. Nevertheless, we try to work with the man to unlock the secrets, perhaps, that he's hiding. Why he committed these heinous acts. Strangely, no acknowledgement other than admitting to doing the acts themselves. No remorse or comment beyond that. Strange.
You know, they say that music soothes the savage beast. How about I play a lullaby for you and him, and maybe it'll, make him more receptive.
Roll a persuasion check for me.
She's very good at music.
I'm sure she is.
22.
I have, in my studies, I have read that music can be very therapeutic. You are a musician.
I am, just amateur, but I hear I'm all right.
Well, I do see you have a lyre there. Oh, gosh. What could it hurt, right? I think it's a great
Right.
idea.
Oh, wonderful. She pulls out her lute and starts playing a lullaby. And after the song goes on for about a minute, she does the feat enthralling performance.
Okay. So
Oh.
tell us about that.
What is that?
Okay. All right. So, if I perform for at least 1 minute, I can attempt to inspire wonder in my audience. So, a number of humanoids within 60 feet of you who watched or listened to all of it, up to my charisma, and I'm really just going for him and the Solano in his cell. But each target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against my spell DC or be charmed by me. So let's see. That my spell DC is.
So you're targeting Solana and the warden?
Yes.
Or rather,
Yep.
this current mid-level manager.
This current mid-level manager who is standing behind
the
us,
Iron Watch.
creepily.
All right. So
this is a hard choice.
what
I'm gonna
is
make one of
your
them.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna give one of them their roll. I'm just gonna decide which one it is gonna be.
Man, where on these sheets is the spell DC?
I'm
It's at the
gonna
top
make.
on the spell page.
I'm going
Oh,
to
it's on
hand
spell page.
Solana a 7 for his roll.
Okay.
17
my-
is the DC he has to
Using
beat.
using my divination power.
All right, that sounds good. Let's see. Why don't Farah? Why don't you roll me a d20 for Master Bray? Okay, so they both fail their save, and as you're playing the lullaby, you can hear Bray sort of humming along. You know, he's not really getting like overly what's the word I'm looking for? Expressive, like with his face or anything, but he's sort of humming and just kind of watching you and maybe rocking back and forth just a slight bit as he is enthralled by your beautiful performance. And whoever is looking inside the cell at this moment sees Solana kind of look up. You know, he's holding his knees close, and his head just kind of rises, and he looks. And as you finish the tune, he just starts clapping slowly.
That's never good.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for the applause.
You have gotten a response that is quite interesting.
Oh, he's never done anything like that before.
Well, he has been rather unresponsive for a week or more. Perhaps we could get him to eat now, which would be nice.
Say, and I just like immediately like turn and address Solano.
Solana?
Since
Solana.
Is it Solana? I thought it was
It is.
Solano.
Solana.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll write that down.
So you were saying it on purpose, or
It's
saying
okay.
it wrong on
It's
purpose?
okay. You're new here.
I don't know who anybody is.
We'll let it slide once. Just kidding. These guys murder the names all the time. Although so do I. That's D&D tradition.
Solana, since you're a fan, would you mind telling us what happened? Why are you in here?
Play more music. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And I do continue, like I continue to play, but I'm not singing anymore. Captain, you wanna?
As this is happening, as you're playing the song, Bray turns to Deg and says, I'm gonna go get some food. The man hasn't eaten in 7 days.
Yeah. You should do that.
Beautiful
He's, like,
music is
talking.
helping. So stay here.
Okay.
And I will be back momentarily.
Well,
And
I'll keep an eye on everything.
He walks
Don't worry.
away. And you hear a door close as he walks out of the hallway.
Say, Solana, could you come over here so we could get a better look at you? We just want to make sure you're all right, honey.
More music. More music.
Hey, it might be our opportunity to cast that spell.
Right, but I have to touch him.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Right. You want me to pick the lock?
Oh, goodness.
I'll get you in there in just a second.
Solana.
I mean, he could
I
just
was
come
hoping
over,
maybe
right?
he would
Just
come to the door.
He hasn't gotten up from a seated position.
I'm just gonna say, Solana. We're from Saltmarsh. Does that mean anything to you?
He doesn't respond to your question.
What about a blue box?
More music, please. Music.
She stops playing and she goes, you're gonna have to come over here for me to play.
At that point, he lifts his arms up, and you can hear the jingle of chains.
Oh,
And he
you're
just kind
chained
of
to the
does that,
wall.
and then he drops him down, and he just starts laughing again.
I'll start playing again. Like, I didn't know, sweetie. Maybe you should pick the lock.
All right, I'll pick the lock super fast so that she can get in there, so she can cast the spell, so we can shut the door before he gets back.
All right. So first thing you notice as you pull out your tools and get ready to make this happen is that these doors are pretty robust, and the locks are pretty an interesting lock mechanism. You've seen similar things like this before, but this is not an easy. This is not an easy one to pick. So going into it, it's going to be challenging.
I'm gonna go to the door where the guard left and just try to keep a watch.
Yeah, just let me
Roll
know
a
if he's
perception
coming.
check, Rhunar, for me, please. So Byron, go ahead. If you want to do a lockpick attempt, roll your thieves' tools. So that means you're going to add your dex bonus and your proficiency modifier. I'm assuming you're proficient, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I have expertise, I believe. I'm not sure though.
Natural 20.
Oh, we got a natural 20 in the house for Mr.
For a
Deg.
total of 26.
Womp, womp, womp.
26 total. Okay. Very nice.
I'll burn through one of my advantages too.
Okay.
Kapow.
That's what they're there for.
20,
Your-
20,
that's your
20.
last one.
Chat that.
So what's the total?
15.
You get the pick in there, and you get one of the tumblers, but you can't seem to get the second one. It's a little bit more difficult than that. You almost had it though. You think?
What's going on? How's it going?
This is a pretty hard lock, man. Is he coming?
Is he coming?
Rhunar, you do not hear footsteps, and you are dialed in on that door that you're standing by, listening, and you don't hear
No.
anything.
No, it's still clear.
Is there any magic or anything on this door? I could maybe dimension door in real quick.
But then you have to do it out.
Yeah, I would.
Wait.
Or I could just ask the guard for the keys.
Tell him to get his foot over. See if he can get his foot by the bars.
It's too far
Well-
away for that, for sure. He's
Oh.
like 10 feet away from the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could try burning through it with acid, but then they'll know we did something.
Would if the
You
guard
could
comes back, could we possibly convince him to open it?
Yep. Probably.
I was also going to throw out there that you could try to pick the lock again, but the DC is going to be higher than it was the first time.
I could try one more time.
No, that's all right. Let's wait for the guard to come back.
All right.
A couple of, like a minute later, Rhunar, you hear footsteps.
He's coming. I'm just gonna take a few steps back so I'm not so obvious.
Yeah.
Waiting for him.
Okay. And he comes in and he's got a plate of food. And he looks to you and he says, any changes?
I mean, he said like a few things. He really likes the music.
Yeah, he just says more music and then he laughs. Poor thing.
I have a theory. I think if we play a few more songs, he might start talking more. Like the more he hears, the more he'll talk.
Yep.
It's quite
I think
possible.
we should go in there and feed him.
I do need to bring this food in, but I cannot allow anyone else in. I'm sure you understand that we have rules. I mean, even having you here right now, we're sort of bending the rules, but you're
But
so
look
kind.
how we're
and-
helping. We are helping. This poor man has not eaten in how many days?
It's been 7 days.
I know. And if I stop playing, he might get upset again. And, That's just too bad.
He might need medical treatment, and I'm a doctor.
Oh.
True.
You can see him thinking about it, and he looks down at the plate of food. Roll, Feyre, go ahead and roll with advantage a persuasion check. Because you're being helped by Byron, who's channeling his inner Dr. McKillingutty.
Yeah.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
29.
Oh, man.
This dude's also charmed.
Wow.
Irresistible.
Yeah.
Ow.
I don't even have to command
I
him
think-
to do anything.
Every party should have a glamour bard. Really, if you just want to walk all over every social sort of barrier, you want one of these.
I've always wanted to play a character where I could just consistently lie and get away with it.
That's not bad. Okay, so yeah, he's like, you are helping, and well, okay, but please be careful. This man is a killer. I should not be doing this, but you are very persuasive.
I mean, he's all chained up.
And
And I'm still playing.
He pulls out a key ring, a big, heavy key ring, and he flips through a couple of keys. He hands, he turns to Tenoch and kind of hands you the plate. Can you hold this for a second?
Yep.
And you look down at it, and it's, it's like mash. It's like maybe cornmeal or mashed potato, or a little bit of like a gravy poured on it, because you got to put some gravy on it. You take a taste.
Grey hot gravy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got some gray hot gravy. We're gonna need to do an emote for that too. All right, just so I want to know what this tastes like too. So Tenoch, why don't you roll a d20 for me?
All right. The opposite of what my friends have been rolling. Oh, one.
It's terrible.
Oh.
Tastes terrible.
Yeah, Feyre sees that expression and she waves her hand over it and with prestidigitation and makes it taste better.
Why?
Yeah, really bad. Anyways, he opens the door, grabs the plate back from you, Tenoch, and the five of you walk into the cell, and you see, what was once probably a very proud captain of a sailing vessel with men and women and crew members at his command. He is a broken, definitely not what you would expect from the descriptions that you'd read about in the Dralian Journal of him being this, accomplished explorer, etc. He's been reduced to nothing more than, you would see him and think he's a common beggar, perhaps, or, what's worse, a crazed lunatic, right? He is still sitting against the wall with his back, his head is down, his arms are still, are again wrapped around his knees. And now you look, Rhunar, as you walk in, you can see that they're indeed, the scratchings that you saw appear to be drawings, sketches of some kind, and some sort of a script that you're unfamiliar with. Almost, it reminds you of text, the way it's written, the way it's organized on the wall, but it's unlike anything you've seen before in terms of script. He's unwashed and dirty, and the room as you walk in smells of mildew and rotten straw. You can see he's kind of sitting in straw, maybe soiled himself. And you all kind of follow behind Master Bray as he approaches Solana. Now, Vincent, we've brought you some music and some food. Well, here you go. And he slides the plate over to him, and there's like a wooden spoon on the plate. What are you four doing at this point?
How close are we to him?
So the Bray is kind of like squatting down in front of him, so he's probably within 3 feet of Solana, and then you are behind him, So 4 feet away from him, 5, depending on where you are in the room. If you're at the door, if you're still standing by the door, the entry door, you'd be probably about 8 to 10 feet away.
Okay.
Yeah, it smells nasty.
Ugh. And is Solano at the end of his rope? Can I kind of tell where the end of his chains are?
Roll a perception check for me. He does reach out and take the plate of food and the wooden spoon, and he starts to eat it.
Oh, sorry, I didn't
And
need
then
to
he
advantage.
says-
Take the first one.
More music. Please, more.
10.
Drowns out the whispers.
Oh,
A 10?
yeah.
It's hard to tell. It's very dark. You know, he's sitting down, the chains are partially obscured, and actually where they fasten or where they are attached to is unclear.
Okay, I am going to first stealth forward, like just kind of keep inching up so I'm right like behind the guard.
Okay.
I light a torch.
Okay.
And then if I'm going to like I'm gonna actually tap the guard on the wrong shoulder so that he looks the other way, and I'm gonna take 2 steps forward and touch Solano's hand and cast and cast Greater Restoration.
As
Okay.
she does that, I'm gonna kind of sidle up to the guard and be like, "What is this writing? What is this stuff on the walls?"
Okay. So you
To help.
all right. So first of all, as this is all happening, Tenoch fires up a torch. And it's the light that it gives off illuminates the walls of the cell, and they are covered in these strange drawings, this strange script, and this is all kind of happening simultaneously. So I'm going to try to sort of jump around here. You ask the question, and he kind of turns as the tap on the shoulder, and he kind of like turns to answer your question. Meanwhile, Feyre is going to slide around and cast this spell. I guess roll a sleight of hand check for me, Feyre. As you're sort of, you're doing this stealthily, but I think it's more of a sleight of hand check, really.
All right, I am using my advantage on this.
Okay. So
17.
very nice. Byron, what are you doing while all this is happening?
Well, I'm gonna have reached into my pocket and put my arcane ring on, my Seekers of the Arcane ring, and I'm gonna be down. I'm gonna bend, like get down on one knee next to Feyre as she's touching his hand, and try and grab his other hand and be like, "It's gonna be okay, man." And try and make it so like it's obvious that the ring is showing, so that he can see it for when if this spell works.
Okay, Byron, roll a d20 for me. This is a Solana roll, but I'll have you roll it. And you see the man now as you're close to him. He has his beard is overgrown. His hair is kind of knotted. It looks like he's got a really thick head of hair, beautifully long, black, almost jet black hair, but it's kind of gnarled and knotted because it hasn't been brushed or combed in a long time. And he has on, kind of like inmate robes. But anyways, you cast the spell. What did you roll for sleight of hand? A 17. Okay. So while all this is happening, Master Bray does not see what you do. And as you give Solana the sort of the mind tickle of, this is a greater restoration.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You see his head kind of looks up as he's swallowing down the gruel, and his eyes open a little bit wider, and you can kind of see this milky white sort of cloud over his eyes just sort of evaporate and fade away. And he looks at your hand, Byron, and he grabs your wrist the chains rattle as he reaches out like really fast and grabs your wrist and holds onto it really tightly. Not inflicting any pain in terms of like hit point damage, but definitely like it could be painful, right? He's digging his gnarly fingernails in his hand, just like grasping you. Meanwhile, the flickering torch is illuminating all of this script, and Solana just looks at you and says, "The whisper, it's here. The whisper." And Bray kind of turns to look. What did he say? Whisper. What are you doing? Please, do not touch the man. Step back.
Feyre steps back and continues playing
we were just
softly.
trying to comfort him.
What whisper?
looks-
I'm going to say to him, I'm not going to step back. I'm going to stay on my knee next to him and be like, what whisper? I'm going to put my other hand over his hands that are grabbing my wrist.
You can see now as you look down. Whoa, thanks for the raid. Bipolar Dice Roller.
Nice.
We appreciate you.
Hey,
Oh, hey, this might be a great time. Folks who just showed up in chat, we are doing a giveaway in just a couple of minutes. So if you want to enter to win Encounters in Saltmarsh, there's some giveaway details in the chat. Type !draw and you'll be entered to win. We're going to go ahead and draw in just a couple of minutes as we wrap things up here. Thank you so much for coming here. We really appreciate it. What a great treat. Nice to see you all. Okay, so sorry, I got distracted. Bipolar Dice Roller. You do that to me every time. All right. So yeah, Byron, he's got your arm, right? And he is grasping you, and you kind of look down. You can see, and this interesting timing, but this could be a little bit triggering, so I won't talk a whole lot about it, but you can tell that he has done some self-inflicted wounds. Okay, we'll leave it at that. And it's not good. But he turns and he says, "It's everywhere." And he kind of looks now. He looks at Feyre. He looks at Bray. He looks up to Rhunar and over at Tenoch, and he says, "The whisper. It's coming for us all." And he starts kind of hyperventilating. And at that point, you see that he's just starts sweating and shaking, right? He has gone from like catatonic to terrified. Who are you? Who are you people?
We're just here to help.
It's okay now. You're
It's
in a prison.
It's not okay. Oh, the murders. He kind of brings his chained arm up. Oh, you and Bray is like, "Vincent, it's okay. Calm yourself." And he turns to you, Fairy. He says, "Perhaps another calming tune would be in order." Vincent, these are friends of yours.
Maybe that one we heard in Saltmarsh.
Oh, all right. And actually, I think I know something like close to the area, like kind of music from there, and I'll start playing something, like a ballad from that's locally known from Saltmarsh.
Okay. Yeah, roll a performance check, just because why not? And this is one of those tunes that you're trying to recall, right? It's maybe not one that you play on the regular.
Yeah.
Very nice. That works.
My 2 is
It's not in the
15.
rotation.
Yeah. That's amazing. You have a plus 13. That's crazy. You you miss a couple of chords, but not because you screwed up. It's just like you can't quite remember some of the tune.
Never
But
played this before.
it's pretty good for never having played it before. It's pretty good. Solana kind of calms down, and he says, "Why have you come here? You have to leave. You must leave." Why are you
While
here?
I'm gonna look
while
over
this
it.
is going on, if I may,
Mhm.
I would like to take out perhaps that mummified bat, crush it in my hand into powder, and then rub it on my eyes and cast the invisibility.
Very nice. Okay. Your eyes flicker into this ethereal viewing platform, and you can see the entire room illuminated, but you do not see anything invisible within the room.
It's up for like an hour.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep an eye out in case anything weird comes.
Tenoch, do a rubbin. Wall. I'm playing.
What is the guard doing right now?
He is sort of crouched down next to Byron, in front of Solana. He looks down at you and he goes to you, Byron. What are you seeking here?
Answers. This man is obviously being affected by something, and we need to figure out what.
There is something terrible. I killed those people.
Solana, when did you hear the whisper?
I hear it right now.
Where did you first hear it?
You can see he's trying to recall. It's been some time. They're coming. For me, for you,
Who's
for
coming?
all of us. The Whisper.
And
From
at this
where?
point, Bray is kind of like,
I've not heard him say this before.
I think
Where are they coming from?
The deep. Oh my God. What?
why did you come for me?
You shouldn't be
like
here.
the water.
You shouldn't be
Fishy
here.
dudes with the tentacles.
As
mean, like
as
the
Tenoch
water?
says that, you kind of scan the wall and you see on the wall, amongst a bunch of other stuff, some drawings that look kind of like those tentacled, like amorphous creatures that you battled at Rephrum's. Reminiscent.
As he's saying all this, I'm just gonna, and when he asks me why we're here, I'm gonna grab his hand again. I'm gonna reach up and I'm gonna like do like the listen to me really closely thing where you like put your hand on their neck and you like crane their eyes at you, and I'm gonna be like, listen, I was sent here by Aubrek Drownian. Well, not really. I've come here. I'm a friend of Aubrek Drownian. The thing is, we have the blue box.
Bray is like, I thought you said you didn't know, you weren't connected. This is getting.
I'm talking to this guy. I have the blue box. I'm
Roll an
looking in the eyes
intimidation
again.
check for me.
Okay.
It's all right. Don't worry about it.
What are the rest of you doing while this is happening? Anything? Farrah's
Still
playing.
Playing
I like-
music.
I like do one of these to Rhunar, and
Mhm.
I point out the like fishy dude drawing on the wall.
Shit. Does that look familiar?
And
Are you going to
it
take
looks
a look
like
at it in more
the
detail?
kind of drawing
Yeah.
that like.
Are you
you
going to
know, your
investigate
stepsis-
the clues on the
Yeah.
wall?
I would
Yeah,
like
you'd
to
like
investigate the clues.
your sister's cousin's little kid brother would have fucking drawn.
Pretty much. They do kind of look like childlike sketches.
Are
Yeah.
they better drawings than Byron's?
Roll an investigation check for me. If
All right.
anybody who
Oh,
decides to take a look can roll an investigation check. Byron, you are. You tell the man to, you shush him, and he shuts up right away.
17, Dave.
Okay. So Byron-
12 for me looking at the guy at the drawings. since I'm
Okay, a
looking
12
at
and a
those.
17. Great.
And I got an 8. I'm multitasking.
You are multitasking like a boss. All right, so Byron, let's go back to you. What do you say to him after you shush Bray?
Say, I have the
It's a
box.
box.
Dralian's box. How do I open it?
The box.
The box.
He kind of holds his head. Dralian. Do I know this?
You may have.
Take this box, your friend's box, and leave before they come for you too. Before they get inside your head.
How did they get inside?
Rhunar, before we get to that, you're looking at the walls, you and Tenoch, and you rolled a 17, and Tenoch, you rolled a 12. Okay.
12.
So a couple things. You guys are looking at the walls. First thing, you look at each other after you first start looking. You kind of give each other a look, and you can see that the drawings are made with blood. First of all, and just sort of the reveal. It's Solana's blood. He has used that to sort of draw on the walls, right? Various sized circles. Somewhat well-drawn circles that bisect each other at and lines coming at odd angles, connecting the different circles. These lines all kind of converge at a point, and there's a variety of these different patterns across the room. There are more drawings of these like serpent creatures that you can recognize now as you look at them closer, both Tenoch and Rhunar, as the creatures that you fought. There are
They look like Mosengi.
No, they are reminiscent of what you fought a little bit. They are reminiscent of the thing that you fought at Reference Swamp. Yep.
Okay. Yep. Sorry.
You notice this, Rhunar, even without a 17, but with the 17, you definitely notice it. You see something familiar on the walls, an inverted pyramid that is repeated in multiple locations. And you investigate the script, or the script like drawings, or kind of these like interesting looping patterns, and you're not sure what they are. You've never seen anything like it, but at one point they all kind of converge on a drawing of an eye with tentacles below it.
Yeah. That's creepy shit.
Yeah.
And at this point, for the sake of time, if there's anything else, why don't you do this? Is there anything else that you want to do while you're in this cell? Because we're going to end with you guys leaving the prison, unless you tell me something different. But is there anything else you'd like to do before we end for tonight's session? Why don't we start with Tenoch?
Yeah,
Is there anything you want to investigate closer as you and Rhunar are looking at anything that I described that you might want to look at closer, or anything else you want to say to Solana or anything like that? Just some ideas.
yeah, I think I'm just gonna be wary. The player was like, oh yeah, somebody had mentioned that they wanted me to take a rubbing of what was on the wall, but then realistically, materials for such things do not exist on the character sheet that I have in front of me at this time. So I will not be doing that, but I will commit them to memory.
Rhunar got a
this is
pretty
some
good
fucked
look.
up stuff.
So what are you?
Tentacles stuff.
Yeah. So of those items, what are you going to focus on to commit to memory?
Hang on, I wrote it down in my notes. Yeah, I guess the triangle eye tentacle thing, that seemed strangely important.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm just gonna kind of watch, with my see invisible up, watch corners and shadows, and have magical powers ready at my fingertips to smite anything that may or may not leap out at us.
Okay, great. You can easily commit that to memory. If you want to reproduce it at some point in the future, you'll be able to get a pretty good representation of that. What about you, Rhunar? Is there anything else you want to do in this room while you're in the presence of this broken man?
I'm gonna ask him, where's the Griffin Wing? Where's your ship?
I bid them leave this place. They are headed to the Amadio, a fort that we've been at, but I dare not say its name. I shouldn't even be thinking of it. The Whisperer could find them too.
Is this Whisperer
They are in hiding
on this island?
It is everywhere, my friend. Everywhere.
When did you first hear it?
Okay, we'll hold on that question. Farah or Byron, would either of you have anything else that you'd want to do while you have him sort of responsive? Somewhat.
I will, after I'm realizing he's really not going to give me a lot, kind of take a step back, look over, see, did Tenoch or Rhunar say anything out loud about all the drawings on the wall, besides Farah saying take an etching?
I don't think so.
No.
I did not. Yeah, I specifically only kind of did the, hey, Rhunar, tap Rhunar on the shoulder and pointed out to him.
Okay.
I just made mental note of the stuff that I saw that was super creepy.
Some of it is. Go ahead.
Well, if I see it.
I mean, with the torch glowing, like if you stepped away, like when you do step away from Solana, you would definitely look around and be like, holy shit, the fuck is this?
As I see it, I'll just reach into my pocket where I've been keeping it, Dr. Grau's magnifying glass again, and just take a step up and kind of start looking across it, looking around it, seeing if there's anything that really just jumps out at me.
Okay. All right. Hold on to that thought for a minute. Farah, is there anything else that you would do?
Yeah, while this is all happening, I'm going to turn to Master Bray, I believe, and ask him, is there anything that you wanted to ask him while he's so receptive like this? I know you must have done a lot of investigations and you said you couldn't get him to talk.
Not at the moment, miss. Thank you. For me, it's enough that he has responded and has eaten. Thank you.
Well, you are a sweetheart. And what a hard job you have. I'll just lay it on thick.
Yeah. As he's kind of, he's sort of like consoling Solana a bit. And, as Solana just starts to sort of rock back and forth a little bit and says, just leave me here. I'm safe here. This is safe for me. I committed a heinous crime and I should pay for that. And you can just see like a tear rolling down his cheek. This is my fate. But you have cleared a bit of the fog. Be careful. And, okay, Byron, real quick. So I mentioned these Venn diagram, converging line diagrams, these inverted pyramid sketches, this tentacled eye creature drawing. There's various depictions of the squid-like creatures that you fought, and then there's like this jagged script, this sort of illegible script. Do you want to look at all of that? I would say you've got a little bit of time.
The tentacle eye and you said it was like a Venn diagram. I'd probably look mostly towards the center. I'd look for the most detailed.
Okay, yeah. So roll an investigation check, and then Rhunar, you were going to kind of commit some of these things to memory as well. Is that what you said? Okay.
Yeah, just the especially the inverted triangle parts.
Yeah.
Got an 11.
Okay, Rhunar.
Wah, wah.
Yeah. The inverted triangle is something that you remember. I don't know if Andy remembers the reference to that. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. That is, it stands out for you big time, and is unnerving to say the least when you see that. And we can explore that next week. But yeah, Byron, as you look at the converging lines and these circles, you can see that they all kind of come to this point on the wall, on the north wall of the cell, and in the middle of that is sort of this spiraling script. And it's that same sort of weird jagged line script that kind of spirals outward and then just sort of like trails off in different directions.
All right, that's interesting.
Can you read it?
That's a good question. Can I?
Roll an investigation check for me. Bray is kind of getting up now and says, we should leave him. Perhaps you could come back again and help. You are such a help. And he's sort of like talking to you, Feyre, as you're walking out, kind of like having a one-on-one
Thank you.
conversation.
It's 23.
Oh my.
Oh yeah.
Oh, roll a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Mm-hmm.
You guys said you didn't want more
okay.
diamond dust.
A 14.
As you study it, I don't know if you're using the magnifying glass or not,
I was.
but you're looking at it, and suddenly you are. It's a momentary bit of paralysis as you are stuck just kind of holding it, and you're just looking at it. You have no idea in your conscious mind what the script is says, or if it's even script at all. But in your subconscious, you feel this nugget of dread, just a faint hint of a deep-seated dread. And it's momentary, and you kind of snap out of it, and you put the magnifying glass away, and you exit the cell. And the door slams shut, and you have an opportunity to have your conversations as you leave the Hopener prison and make your way back out into the courtyard of the Iron Watch Conclave. And we can pick up there next week as you're exiting this place with some information, some callbacks to some pretty nasty shit, and Byron an unnerving sense of dread that has just birthed itself in your subconscious.
You gotta dip that nugget in honey mustard.
I
Hey,
have a feeling
chat.
it's gonna dip me in honey mustard.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna get dipped if you're not careful. Hey, chat, thanks for being here. We love you guys. It's been fun. We had a level 4 or 5 hype train. That was crazy. I don't think that's ever happened before. We had a lot of fun banter and goofiness in the chat, which we love. Yes, please, more of that. Thank you so much. We do have a giveaway. So all you have to do to enter the giveaway is to type !drawing. Hey, and we also hit 300 followers. So that's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We really appreciate all the support from this amazing community. You are a big part of our joy and fun. And so it's great for us to see that you're having fun in the chat, and it means a lot. So thank you. So yeah, !drawing. We are giving away here. Let me show you what we're giving away here. I know it's getting late, guys. Bear with me. We are giving away Encounters in Saltmarsh, which is like 46 pages of encounters says that's what it says in the title. Maps. There are ship tokens, which are super sweet that we've used. We've used some of the maps in here. There's some really good nuggets for developing some encounters and adventures, plot hooks, etc. So check that out. CZRPG has been our sponsor for as far back as I can remember, to be honest with you. I don't even remember a time before them. It could be the whisper at work in my own brain. We all have our own whisper at some level. We know that. But yeah, we're going to give this thing away. If you want to enter, you've got one more chance here. ! Drawing. And you will be in there to win it. Ashley, would you be so kind as to give us a 5-second countdown?
Sure will. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
Here we go. Eversalt.
Eversalt.
Hey.
Congrats.
I will send you a link to this beautiful piece of content. Thank you so much for being here. Incidentally, we've got some more fun stuff coming up this week. Tomorrow night, Chad, tell us, what do we have tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, session 0, us, Kids on Brooms, Wizard School, Magic, Brooms, Fun Times, Context.
That's right, all that. We're gonna create some
Those are all the
characters,
things that
right?
you can
We're
look
gonna do
forward
some
to.
world building
Make some
tomorrow.
characters,
We're
world
gonna
building.
learn. We're gonna do a little learning about the system because this is a brand
Yep.
new system. This is not 5th edition's Dungeons and Dragons. This was put out by where's the book?
Renegade Press, Renegade Publishing.
Hunters
right?
Entertainment and Renegade Game Studios.
Yeah.
They actually, I got an email from Hunters Entertainment today. They are super stoked that they're super stoked that we're running the game, and they're gonna send over a bunch of like art assets.
Fucking A.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So
That's sweet.
I'll forward that on to you, Chad, so you can have some
Fuck
sweet
yeah.
art to play with.
Hell yeah.
So that's pretty flippin' cool.
That's
so
baller.
yeah. That's the beauty
Thank
of
you.
like Twitter
If you're
is you
watching
can just
this
reach
stream,
out to
thank
people.
you, Hunters
and,
Entertainment.
and if they're into it, they're into it. So they are.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. And then we got to make sure we mention this. Eversalt and I are going to be back at it on Friday night playing Knights and Bikes, which is a crazy video game about these two girls and their friendship and sort of it got kind of deep last week. There's
Fighting
some
geese?
seriously. Well, they were fighting geese, but they have a pet goose. What the hell? Eversalt, what's the goose's name again? Is it Captain Honkers? I think it's Captain Honkers. I hope it is.
I think it's
Captain
Honkers.
Honkers.
That
Yeah.
sounds right.
But we're the whole point of the stream, it's about an hour and a half. It's a fundraiser for Extra Life. So we are raising money for the Children's Miracle Network Hospital System. And with chat support last week, we raised $775, which was way beyond what we thought we would raise. So we had to up our total. Anyways, come over and check it out. We really appreciate you. Darth Surrealish is involved in the fundraising. Eversalt is involved. If you want to join our fundraising team, why not get involved? That link that we put in the chat will take you to our page. Make a donation if you can. Join our team and encourage people to make a donation. We're helping kids. It's fun. All right, that's enough of that. Let me just take a peek here about who is online because we're gonna do a raid. We got raided tonight. Thanks for the raid.
Phoenix.
Let's see.
I don't know.
Is Phoenix up and running?
Oh yeah, he is.
right.
I've been watching him on a second tab the whole time. Not the whole time.
All
but
right.
For like the last 4 minutes.
So we are gonna go ahead and raid Phoenix. I'm gonna
Let's do this.
I'm gonna send this over to the end screen, folks. Thank you so much. It's almost March. We're gonna march around, but no, join us for the raid. Hit them with emotes. We've got some great emotes. We've got a new emote. We've got 18 viewers. We're gonna do this, guys. Thank you so much. We love you all. We'll see you over in the Phoenix land. Bye.
Hell yeah.